Well, it's a good day to wake up and realize that at 1930 CET, there's ESA on your schedule, and well, look at where we are. Currently, we're going to be heading into another fantastic match today, and it's going to be led by none other than your lovely M-Guns, joined by Puffa Bob. M-Guns, how are you feeling?
It's good to be back. It's good that the sun from Malta has made its way here to the UK. We are now in summertime, and it's nice that the weather is living up to summertime time zones as well. So it's good to be back with you, Puffa Bob. Hopefully we'll have some amazing Siege to watch here on the ESA. So I'm really looking forward to it, Puffa.
Oh, well, speaking of which teams do we have today? Well, it's going to be none other than the previous season's winner, MVG, facing off Minions, also previously known as MG Minions, in the 1-1 Swiss stage bracket. So either they get a promotion or a demotion into the brackets, and well, M-Guns, what are we thinking?
Yeah, this is not too bad. This is both of these teams' chance to get into that upper side of the Swiss. They'll be fighting for a qualifying spot if they do make it into that upper side. So a lot to play for here, Puffo, which is great to see. Obviously, if you lose, not the end of the world, because you do go down to a 1-2 record. You're still in it. You're not out of it. You still get another chance to get to that 2-2 slot. So all to play for here, Puffo Bob, in this game.
Absolutely, and well, let's see what the predictions of casters and our beloved staff members think who's going to be coming out triumphing on today's matchup. And since it is a best of 3, these are going to be some really nice choices, because everyone knows MVG for how strong of a team they are, and like I said earlier, they are the champions of the previous season. Well, for Minions, I believe we have like 1 vote. I think Oho was the only one who voted for them, so that's good. Let's see if Oho manages to prove us all wrong.
Oho is the GOAT of these, by the way. He's always the one that makes like the odd prediction, and he's normally spot on the money, Puffo. So I always like a underdog story as well. So I think I'm going to be rooting for the side of Minions here, as MVG are the reigning champions. So I like the underdog story. I'm backing for them. I support Oho fully in his decision to back them. I'm going to join him on that vote as well, and I want to see them. I want to see them make something happen for us. Let's take the map bands as well, Puffo.
Ooh, get the drums rolling. And well, M-Guns, this is not going to be your usual clubhouse, chalet. Well, it is chalet on number 2, but Consulate Nighthaven. Those are going to be some very nice maps to see.
Yeah, Consulate's a great map. I really like how defender-sided it is. This might sound controversial, but it's good because it shows how good a team is at attacking. If you can take back-to-back rounds off of the defending side on Consulate, it really highlights how good of a team you are, because how coordinated you need to be to get those rounds. I think Chalet and Nighthaven are very standard maps now. A lot of people in the competitive scene, whether that's console or on PC, are very comfortable with these maps, Puffo. So I'm very happy to see Chalet and Nighthaven as well, if we do need to go all the way to map 3.
Oh, and who doesn't like some Nighthaven every now and then? I mean, Nighthaven is a beautiful map. I think this is one of the best and most, I would say, positively received maps when it comes to the more recent editions. I mean, Consulate's rework isn't bad either, but comparing it to how people have been taking Emerald Plains, Lair, Nighthaven definitely does stand at one of the more common picks, and at the same time, we speak of Nighthaven, we first have to get it with it, and well, it all starts at beautiful Consulate, one of those Big Bertha maps alongside Cafe and Bank, and being one of the big 3. Let's see who's going to be coming out on top in map number 1 here, M-Guns.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this game is going to play out, and the bans are a huge part of this map as well. This map can really change depending on which operators are available to you, Puffo. Who are you expecting to see banned out?
Definitely, I'm thinking Shields. Shields are very strong here. Even on the defense, I can imagine a clash. But let's see what MVG start us out with.
It's going to be the Blackbeard. What a surprise. It is going to be the Blackbeard. I don't need to specify why this guy's been banned out. There's not a whole lot to it. He's just really annoying. I think it's fair to say, Puffo, nobody likes this guy. Nobody likes this operator. He has like a 90-ish% ban rate at the moment in competitive, if that's in ESA or the quals or anything else. Nobody likes him, Puffo.
I mean, I can't really blame them. He is very frustrating and hard to deal with at times. And in the meanwhile, we speak of the shields. They shall appear, both of them, 2 out of the 3 on attack if we don't count in the secondary shields, such as the fuse. But the Blitz taken out. Monty's still standing. It's going to be interesting to see him in action, as people do tend to pick him on Consulate. But now we head over to the defenders, and drumroll please, it will be the Scopos. That is interesting.
Minions Gang clearly don't want MolotovGang to frag out here. That seems to be the theme of these bans. the Skopos ban, I've got a feeling, is purely because you can use Skopos to be hella aggressive. You can run around like a headless chicken, you can teleport back to site, you get a full HP reset if your other Skopos drone is alive. It's almost like a get out of jail free card, Puffo, if you're playing Skopos.
If you're playing Skopos, yes it is, and again, this map is quite huge. People wanna go on for that roam, extend maybe to the top floor if it may be. But matters not, round 1 is about to be underway in 1 couple of seconds, and taking a look at the lineup, we can already see some changes here, and at the same time, we can comment on the defenders, not as much on the attackers as they do still have the 6th pick available, and MolotovGang coming out very interesting. Gonna be bringing the Mute Dog, Goyo, Warden, and Frost. Very traditional with characters that have been kind of getting picked as a flex operator. You know, an operator you really can't go wrong with, but at the same time, I mean, Goyo is definitely a no-brainer to not pick here.
The only thing I was going to point out in this lineup is I'm pretty sure it's a very much of a comfort pick coming in from Hassi here.
Oh, yeah.
The dock doesn't really serve any particular purpose in this lineup. Like, you think of the Mute. You've got Intel Denial. The Goyo burns so much time. If there's a Ying being brought or flashes being tossed out on the execute, the Warden is braced and ready to deal with that. The Frost to deny entry on these various windows that can get you into the site itself. And then you have Doc. You have Doc, which is just Doc. He has an ACOG. He has a somewhat useful gadget. If somebody gets tagged up, you can get the reset on your HP. So I'm pretty sure this is very much just a comfort pick for the side of Hashi here. I'm really hoping I've said that correctly. So I like the lineup overall though. A lot of important operators that you see typically for this top 4 hold puffer.
Absolutely. I mean, you have the Frenchman who throws hands, and hopefully Hassi's going to be able to deliver some of those blows, but now the confirmed lock and loaded lineup comes in from the attackers as well, as we do see a Twitch drone, and of course, the Flores Roteros coming out to be absolute destructors of anything along the path. I mean, specifically probably aiming towards those Goyos, barbed wire, and anything that really denies them for going to the execute. And speaking of the execute, we don't really have any focused execute operators like the Ying, the Grim, and speak of, but rather focused a bit more on clearing people out, getting them killed, and of course watching flanks. Looking at you, Northe.
Yeah, this is a very regimented default lineup for this top floor take. It looks like it is going to be an admin overtake as well. And this is where just getting into the building with this lineup would be tricky. If there's an extension coming out towards that Checkers hallway, as that's a lovely shot from Verox, by the way, somehow it just takes the head off Spen immediately. No more Ash charges available to the attack. And what a way to start Puffer Bob for the side of MolotovGang.
Well, Ash is definitely going to be one of those better picks you can lose on the attacking side, as it doesn't really provide too much utility besides those charges. Of course, the Flores can do more than enough of blowing up, but in the meanwhile, there needs to be a return and balance on his finest. Interload comes in, and that's one taken off for another. A bit of a refrag, as now it's slowly starting to settle down.
Yeah, this is really good initial control, by the way. With a minute and a half left on the clock, you'll full admin control, be able to start gearing up to hit this site. But as you mentioned earlier, Puffer, the only thing they've got to actually sort of bulldoze their way into the site itself is the flashbangs, as Mute's going to fall with his shotgun not working out in close range. MG, you've just exploded, Puffo.
Oh, this is about to go off its rocks, and while a double kill in the favor of MG Minions, delivering a bit of a banana split, going for 1 minute heavy, and ANA always there on the return game, but not for much longer. Dernis has more than to say about it. Variok's last one standing will need to fight against 3. Playing aggressively here is going to be the key to victory, as 2 are right next to you, but holding you tight! And Orthe with a final blow, and MG Minions, a solid beginning.
A really good start for them, as they were just fed a couple of freebies. A little bit of an overextension coming on from the side of MolotovGang to give those opening kills to the favor of MG Minions. And that momentum they've built using those opening picks from MG Minions have just led them to have a brilliant round and a very strong start for them, Puffer Bob, on a map like Consulate.
Oh yeah. On a map like Consulate, this is going to be quite nice, and well, MVG feel the need for speed, and in the meanwhile also the need to go to top floor again, because they really didn't feel that groove in the first round. A bit of a warm-up is always required. Couldn't get the quota of ranked matches in before, so I guess we're going to be using this map number 1 as it, but we need to be quick on it, as defense, it matters a lot. It very much does, and well, as we look at it, M-Guns, I'm starting to spot some changes in these lineups.
Yeah, and I love the lineup adaptations being brought by the side of MolotovGang. We now have a Fenrir instead of the Dock, which is lovely to see. We get a lot more early warning when the actual push is coming in. MG's Ghost Pressure gave them brilliant success in the previous round. They kind of showed that they were opening up a lot of things, sort of baiting out swings from the side of MolotovGang, and now that the Fenrir is in play, now that you've got things like Jaeger and the shield as well. No shield and Warden? Now that you basically have the Jaeger, you can feel a lot more confident in these key positions. So when those flashbangs start to rain out, when the utility starts to fly, you've got a bit more protection in these key places that you need to hold on to as the defenders.
Absolutely. Taking a look at it, well, it's going to be the beginning, but the beginning of an end any second right now, as we have lost a bit of utility when it comes down to droning, although actually not really, only one drone lost. That is going to be really good information gathering later on for MG Minion, especially on the pre-plays game. And talking about drones, Twitch is going to be back in action, Flores as well, because you can't really go wrong with them. Most of these attackers are just solid in general. Now, what the push is going to be intended to do is going to be interesting, as MG Minions earlier, they pushed a bit more, towards that admin side. Will they be repeating the same push because, you don't fix what's not broken? I think that's the intention we're trying to head towards.
Yeah, it is going to be an admin over once again, as the lineup is virtually unchanged from side MG Minions, but they've got a bit more of an extension to deal with this time around, as Mute's going to make his great escape, not deciding to be able to tank this pressure, as the full admin clear has just dipped Puffo. They've just left. They feel like there's no reason to hold on to that area anymore, as now we are going to seal the shield place down to be able to hold on to this default plant position, Puffo.
Going through a bit of these cameras you have placed down to gather whatever you can. The Twitch drone, again, the usability of this gadget can be so immense if played correctly, and if your timing is on it. And well, admin not let go just of yet. MG Minions now do start rappelling in, feeling that comfort, peeking out a bit, and we still need the execute to come in through, which there's not the comfortability for it just yet.
Exactly that, and this is where, with this lineup they've brought, with the Jaeger now on the board, unless this Ash clears the shield, but somehow Spen's going to find the entry once again. Lovely work from him. I was going to say, they don't have the oomph I think they need to get into the site. And now they found an entry, they might just have it, Puffo.
Oh, and well, there's going to be two people dropping down the chimney trying to find that single window value. Although Spiral has been contested, people are chucking C4s blindly, which MVG, we do want to savor those for later, especially for a denial of plant, which would be absolutely golden. But interlude turn is, we see both of their names pop up on the kill feed, and not a single player has been dropped. MolotovGang, one more standing, you know where he is, and Spreadin goes for a pre-fire. That's a flawless, even stronger than before MG Minions, second in a row.
The lovely gun skill of MG Minions, taking it, sticking it to MolotovGang, as they just walk in. Spen somehow ended up in connector without being contested, found an entry on the way in, and from there the rest of MG Minions rallying with the Ash just to stomp all over the side of MolotovGang. And although MolotovGang had the shield in place, they had the Fenrir, it just seems like MG Minions are just firing all cylinders right now, while MolotovGang are still warming up, Puffo.
A bit of a warm-up. I mean, like I said, maybe it's going to take a couple of rounds, but these are those very regrettable rounds. Like I said, I mean, you really want to make them count while you're on the defense, and now finally learning their lesson, they will be switching over to bottom floor, and just my eye on the prize is going to be that Vigil and Echo. Aine and Isan both really packing a very much fully packed potential operator on each one of those, because I mean the Echo, if he can deny that plant in the last few seconds, because the attackers do have a lot of trouble coming into these to this site in the very early stages.
And the other thing is, on this site in particular, I don't think you can afford to full bunker on it. You need to have some kind of presence up above to waste time, if nothing else. You cannot give full vertical gameplay over to the side of the attack, as they will pick apart your defense from above. There's not very many places that are safe from above, and that's what Vigil's main job is going to be, is to deny some of this vertical pressure for as long as he can to make something happen, Puffer.
Make something happen, and well, like we spoke about it, one of the big three requires its roamers, and the roamers need to be cleared if you want to have a very good attack and even equal push when you're coming down to this bottom floor. The best way to do it is going to be the Dokkaebi, Jackal, and Deimos, the trio coming out to really make sure that anyone below this bottom floor is going to be quickly eliminated and taken care of.
Indeed, and this is a lovely lineup. They've got so much ability to hunt this Jackal down, hunt the Vigil down, with the Jackal, with the Dokkaebi, with the Deimos, which is exactly what you want. My only worry is they've got no flank watch in the lineup, so if they do manage to get this Vigil to fall back to the ground floor, when the execute comes in, is this Vigil's got information, Dokkaebi, sorry, he's just already pushed her way down Spiral, Puffo.
Oh, this is gonna be some danger. Interlude was even getting hyped up on Twitter earlier by a bit of comments, letting everyone know that he's a man to be scared of. Spen, in the meanwhile, you need to be scared of these verticalities. You're putting them down, but people are almost setting you off.
And yeah, the Vigil's done his job. I think he's shown his presence and actually backed off towards the site itself. But this is where the lack of flank was. You can just see somebody has to hold these flanks for the rest of the round. And when the execute comes in, that'll be the moment for the defense to get aggressive and start to retake this top floor, if they so choose to, because there's no operator dedicated to holding that for the attack.
Seasoning to our meal will be this hatch. Will it also, too, be the opening for MG Minions to hop down and play? Well, they certainly have some bullets delivered. The Deimos feels threatened, while in the meanwhile, Spen, that last tick of HP was taken off, and that the player 2 counts wallet. His son pushing up. This is going to be a huge deal if you manage to really sneak into the trenches of MG Minions, as they've lost already one player. A second to follow by Hatchie's hand, and although you do return Interlude, you help him out, Dermis, and this is peak teamwork we get to see from MG Minions now pushing down, even using yellow to convert it all into absolute chaos. The stims do come in help, and right now MVG nicely holding their angles quite tightly.
The flashes and starts going out, Puffo, as here comes the execute.
Oh yes, it does. And well, while the impact does finish a job onto the one, it matters now when the SMG-12 is going off the charts, and Nissan, the Vigil player, not only wasting time, but also packing quite some heat.
Interesting that we didn't smoke a couple of these key positions or leave someone on the hatch to hold the push-up. There was no C4s left for the side of MolotovGang to be able to deny the plant if they might so choose to get the kit down. So MG Minions, just the positioning of themselves on the execute, really letting them down, Puffo.
Unfortunately so. Although what matters is that MolotovGang have claimed their first. It's a beginning. And the best you can really claim off of is a 4-2, which at this point you should be really aiming towards. Matters not. It is a start, better that than nowhere. And well, top floor really does not fit them, as right now it's going to be piano side we head to.
And this is really nice. I like that MolotovGang are finally going to the last, well, generally what's considered the tertiary bomb site. For the side of Consulate, it's nice that we're going to show them a site that we haven't defended for. I'm really curious to what the Tabaro is for. We've got no wall denial on the side of MolotovGang, so I'm really curious what they're hoping to slow down or stop getting opened with the Tabaro, as he seems really out of place in this what's otherwise a very frag-heavy lineup. It could just be that he wants the DMR, who knows, and the C4. But that's the most interesting pick, in my opinion, in this lineup for MolotovGang, is going to be that Tabaro. So I just don't see what the use of that operator is going to be, Puffo. Do you have any ideas?
The only thing that I'm maybe aiming towards is going to be the single wall upstairs, because if you want to hold down that top floor at its max, the single wall can really give you a bit of an issue. But again, it's not that major to focus an entire operator for it, so we'll have to see if we maybe get a bit more use of him, and we ourselves get to experience the reason he's currently being picked up by MVG, while the MG Minions, we take a look at them, and handguns, I see an operator that really puts some fear into my boots.
Yeah, I'm really hoping you're talking about the Ying here, as the Ying is such a good operator. I think she's really slept on right now, as the amount of carnage she can cause, especially compared to like a Grim, who seems to be favored a lot of the time over the Ying. It's great to see that they're actually bringing the Ying out. I thought we were going to get an opening engagement there, but nothing's going to happen, as there is an extension once again, Puffer, towards this admin side.
Oh, you talk about extensions, I'm talking about barrels, ain't I? Oh, those shots coming through very nicely for Ryox as well. You can always expect him to be up to the task to deliver some nice shots in the meanwhile. And in the presence of MG Minions have fallen one after another, as now they have 2 players less. And a Ying in the meanwhile, that is just unfortunate.
Yeah, this is lovely entry work from the defense on their extension to get something going here, to take a few of the key players of MG Minions down. They've lost the Ying, the operator we were so excited to see that would get them that execute power. Taken off the board very early, Puffo, and in this 5v3 we've got to start hunting our 1v1s if we want to make our way back into this round.
Really do, and let's take a look at where MVG standing. 4 players at the top ground, and MG Minions, this is going to be their primary objective at this point in current time, which is going to make it really difficult, but you're sleeping on that son as he just walks past you, puts you on a leash, and that's a limitation on an extra player. MG Minions on the budget, 2 left to remain, and these are numbers we really don't want to be looking at. It's getting worse. Denying that flawless will be nice, spend with a complimentary kill, but unless you pack up an extra 4, it's going to be a difficult task to even step up. Comes out swinging and expected. That's going to be 1, but not good enough for the 3rd. Hatsy puts you down. And well, MVG are now starting to put up fair game.
This is where MolotovGang have seriously warmed up. They are really getting into the swing of things. They've figured out kind of what the strategy they need to employ to counter MG Minion's playstyle. And that's been getting more aggressive. It's great to see that MolotovGang have adjusted a little bit. They're feeling themselves a little bit more. They're letting their balls hang, as they say, to just feel more confident in this game. And now it seems like, Puffer Bob, that 4-2 split that MolotovGang should be aiming for is now very achievable.
It is only 2 rounds away, and in the meanwhile, keep in consideration that only 2 more rounds remain in the first half. Once those roles are reversed, it's going to be a completely different story here, Amguns, and I'm excited for it. But as you speak of those operators in the execution, the Grim being picked over the Ying, we're seeing a combination here on Consulate that is very favorable on the top floor for the attackers.
Yeah, MolotovGang have seriously adjusted and have just brought more information. They brought a Malusi, a Legion, and a Fenrir this time as well to try and slow down MG Minions. But if we look at the lineup of MG Minions, it's going to be an admin take. Sorry, not an admin take. It's going to be a CO take, and it's going to be a fast and a hard one. It's going to be a smash and grab trying to come out here from MG Minions, which I really like to see. They haven't shown this really rapid aggression fast kind of take yet. So this could be a real curveball because there's only one C4 available for MolotovGang to actually deny this kind of take.
Heading into round 5. Things have definitely escalated for both teams, while MG Minions are real trouble to spot when MVG get back into their own fashion playstyle. These are true champions now showing themselves in the field of area. And well, MG Minions are going to need to back up your fight, at least get 1 round to equalize it out, as defense will be proving a lot better. But up until then, you still have to prove your worth.
Yeah, Ying's going to get on this rappel. He's going to launch some of these Candelas into the site, just cause absolute carnage for the defense. So they're not going to have any idea what's hit them. As long as they time this right, Puffo, there's nobody below from the side of MolotovGang here to deny this from below either. So it looks like on a 3-2-1, they're about to send it, Puffo.
Oh, the Amaro sensors are tingling, and right now there's gonna be no stopping them! Oh, the air jabs are just being thrown down, but the shotgun comes around! And just with a shot 1 and a minion, Spent does return it onto Variox, but I don't think it matters! MG Minions have lost out on their planter, diffuser in sight, up close on 12 gauge, and this is a dangerous opposition to put yourself in, as 1 comes in, and how do you get away with it? MG Minions absolutely bringing 1 down after another, a single casualty, all needed for you to wipe the entire team off the boards, and the attackers right now coming out on top.
The air jab didn't go off because there was a mute jammer on the other side of the closet, I'm pretty sure. That jammer, or that air jab got jammed, and that's why the Grimbees didn't give away his position either. So really nice little tech there in the middle of the execute, but then Mutes just looked away. He's holding the only way the attack had into sight, and then he's just looked away from the window. Like, surely you have audio that the guy's rappelling in. Maybe the Yin Candela masking the sound of the rappel, but a really lovely stuff from MG Minions to adapt to what was going on. They realized the initial kit planter went down, but they needed to get in and make something happen. So MG Minions have stuck with it, stuck with the aggression, and just walked all over MolotovGang. And this is, I can't emphasize this enough, how significant 3 rounds on Consulate attack is. This is almost unheard of for a map like Consulate, Puffer.
This really is. I mean, I don't know why you would look away with the 12 gauge. You had such a strong position. You had such an advantage over anyone even attempting to vault in, although there may be that sense, that thought of insecurity that someone's going to come swinging around the corner. Let your teammates handle it, as you currently hold diffuser, and there's not a single reason to let go of it.
It could be that because of the Ying Candela's, Puffer, his teammates gone, look, I need some cover because Ying's about to full send it on me. Whatever the case may be, it's just a lovely round for MG Minions. I don't think there was anything MolotovGang really could have done about it, as MG Minions have never shown that kind of take before. And again, look at the control that MG Minions have early, Puffo. They've already got some mid-floor presence and getting verticality going.
Yes, indeed they do. And in the meanwhile, oh, ESA, he gets away with both! A double for MVG! What a tie turn, and we get to see a single run out, and in the meanwhile, the Vigil has no worry about who's going to be tracking him down, as both the Deimos and Jackal have this similar fate. And we can take a look at Interlude, who's looking to have some vengeance on the mind, sneaking into sight, but getting blocked out by KeyBuzz, as the moment just doesn't shine yet.
And this is going to be, once again, this 5v3 situation because of a hero play from Vigil, who's now going to get shut down. Nice little shot with the absolute menace of a weapon of the G8 to get at least one pick back. But I think the damage has been done, Puffo, as MolotovGang can just chill out in the site, have some food, have a little breather, as they can patiently wait for the rest of MG minions to make something happen.
Minions here do manage to cut off MVG while they're trying to lick up that wound when losing the Vigil. A possible equality of operators could be coming down. An Interlude, one hero for another. This man may be just a villain as he puts another down. He's having no mercy. The plant going down. This is going to be good hold, but is anyone covering the Thermites? What are we thinking, MG minions? Hatsy just walks by, stock free, gets away with absolute value. An Interlude, only now you decide to push up into sight. This is not the time to be alive, and alive you aren't, because Variox, he catches you in a Pokeball, and Spen, last one against 2. Echo as well, an unfortunate matchup, trying to find that information, but it matters not, and as long as they hold a strong crossfire, you are bound to be dead in a matter of seconds, or maybe just this 1 minute you have remaining.
Interlude put his team on his back as the flashbangs are going to start to go out. Spen is going to try and make something happen here. As now MolotovGang have finally realized they don't need to peek, they can just kind of sit back and wait for this player to push them.
Oh, approaching danger. Caution you need to proceed with. That might have actually given it away to Spen. Variox. Do make sure to actually play your cards correctly here. You do not want to step into the wrong direction. The Ram approaching closely, shot from right. Not sure what you want to do. There's so many choices, but only one that's correct. Yet again, with this lack of information, they're just going to play whack-a-mole with you. One going to peek out the other two when they feel like it. And you need to get your timing perfectly. Not locking on that second hot shot. You get one. Not going to be the second. Oh, ANA just barely survives an extra bullet here. And it would have been all done and dusted.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay from MolotovGang as they almost give the 2 1v1s to let the Ram make something happen. But the main problem that we saw 2 heroes emerge. The Vigil, as you see here, a lovely shot coming out from the Vigil to give his team the man advantage, but MolotovGang gave Interlude the openings to get themselves back into the round. We somehow ended up in a 3v3 execute. But where is the cover? There is just no cover from the rest of Minions Gang when this plant is going down. It's just crazy, and this is the best moment of the round. Azami going, I choose you, getting those putting those impacts to good use. The lovely stuff coming out from the defense. But it's just a case of that should have been an MG Minions round. Because they completely forgot that they have to cover the plant. Like how do you forget, Puffo, that you need to cover the plant? Like, what is going on?
I don't know. And it's not like they weren't covering the plant and then they stuck to the player just dying. No. Then they went into side bag just to die, which is like the worst of all decisions. I mean, MG Minions, they have had a lot of opportunities to take it out. And one of those we saw in the prior round where there was the complete rush into admin windows and they got away with a lot. That next round, though, the one we just saw, they were really messing up at certain moments, and not holding your Thermite while he's planting might just be one of the gravest mistakes you can do.
Yeah, it's just crazy stuff that the cover wasn't there, but it seems like we are good to get this game back underway. And this is where, even though I think MG Minions made a couple of mistakes to not cover the plant, they've still got a great result on their attacking half. A 3-3 split is phenomenal work for an attack on Consulate. This map is just that defender-sided. So to get this many rounds on your attack, I think is phenomenal work from the side of MG Minions, and I'm hoping they can keep that confidence going into their defense, Buffer Bob.
They might actually have it. Again, like you said, the defense here is really nice. It's like, how would I describe this? As you know, it's like your favorite colored crayon as you're a kid. That's kind of how close it is. And MVG have right now just snooped that out with a 3-3, which isn't the worst, but at the same time, it's like, it could have been better, right? And MG Minions, if they lost that previous round, if they would have patched up on those mistakes, it would have been a 4-2, which would have been even more golden, although it's in the past. Let's focus on the present. And as of current, these lineups are already looking a bit more different as MVG are bringing out a Thatcher.
I'm really curious to see where the Thatcher's going to be used, because we have no hard breach.
Yeah.
Typically, as everyone knows, you have Thatcher Thermite, your classic combination of operators to get things open. However, obviously with no hard breach on the board at all, I think this Thatcher is mainly going to be used to deny the C4s onto this CEO plant. We want to send the Buck below, we want to create some space with the Grim and the Nomad. Thatcher alongside it, that way these C4s cannot find their mark. Only one C4 again from the defending side on the mute, but when that C4 gets thrown out, the Thatcher, what is going on?
What did we just witness? Interlude.
What is
Look,
going on?
we know you're cracked, but you're in his army. Please stick to that role, and please make sure you're alive, not outside the building. Yes, MVG got you with a double run out on the Vigil. That doesn't mean you need to return it. You already did on the IQ. Leave it rest.
Yeah, but before I was rudely interrupted by some wacky jump out, we are going for this CO take. We want to get either Doki and Buck in below, and we've now got Nomad in below. This is lovely stuff. Nomad off these flanks, let Buck go to town with that shotgun, so then let the post plant happen on the window itself.
Let it happen, let it be, and well, who's to say that MG minions here are not having the greatest of start? Me, I'm saying that because, I mean, interlude, what did we just witness? We're not going to be forgetting that for like a round or two, as it could definitely be a beneficial factor to as to why you end up losing this round, and it definitely doesn't get better when you lose out on the Belusi as a second, bringing it down to a 5-3. You damaged a bit of Isan, but that's about as far as it gets.
This is where lovely opening work to trade this back, however, as Mute's doing his damn hardest to shut down this push, as Spen finds one as well. And suddenly that advantage that MolotovGang were gifted has been taken away from them, Puffer.
It's been yoinked. It is not in their hands currently. They have no possession over it, and although we have 3 on each, which is definitely strong for MG minions, you want to play it correctly. You want to play it safe and make sure you don't overstep any boundaries, because again, the punish and play here is going to be at its finest.
And this is where Buck's just trying to make sure he can push these defenders back as far as possible, as the shots are going to rain down onto him, but it looks like they have the control they need, as he might just have hopped on drones at just the wrong moment here, Puffer.
Oh, yes, it may be. Right now, coming in for Rags, that's that Thatcher EMP, which serves not much pressure, not much at all, but the C4 from a Northie definitely proves quite useful. He chucked it. That's going to be on the drop. That's going to be absolutely dropped on the ground. No diffuser to pick up. Well, you definitely can go, but you need to watch out from below. That's why you have A&A, but no one really to cover you if they do intend to sneak and peek, which is going to be very difficult. Not sticking to the plan just yet, but there is time, and it's slowly starting to run out. 2 players, one contesting the Buck, so he can't cover himself too much. Swings out, and that's the SMG-11. Anorthe confirms that as time runs out, time has been kicked off the clock, and even a bit of a kill at the very last with the MP7, claiming the final.
They've not cleared the main position that you have to clear with the Buck, Puffo. So on that wall where you jump in on the window, as you saw the Mute use that position so effectively, tucked close by the window, that's pretty much the only spot you need to clear from below. But again, MolotovGang, they had such an advantage, a 5v3 man count being thrown away to give MG minions a way back into the game is crazy work from MolotovGang. You have to punish these teams when you have such an advantage, but MG minions doing great work to get aggressive to find the trades back. And the one nitro that the defense brought has found its mark and shut down the whole execute. It's great timing, by the way, to throw it in between the Thatchers. You've just got to spam the Thatchers, basically. Just throw 1, 2, 3 Thatchers, repel and get the kit down. That way, you don't really give the defense an opportunity to, or a window to throw that C4 to deny the plant. But MolotovGang, they just look a bit shaky, Puffo.
Look, M-Guns, I think it's a good day. I think we're going to be dapping each other up like 2 perfect puzzle pieces, because MG minions are bringing out 2 operators that, at least me personally, I absolutely love. And one of them is going to be Bald, the other one's going to be Italian. What better way could it be?
Yeah, Maestro is a lovely operator. I think having 80 rounds to just spam at the attacking operators is great to have. The better thing to point out of why this Maestro is available and why he's being brought in this particular round is due to we are not going to basement, we're not going to garage, we're going to be heading to archives first. A lovely little pocket pick coming in from the side of MG minions. It's great to see a bit of strategy going into this. The reason for the Maestro is it gives you so much information on where the plant's going to be going down if the attack manages to get that far, so they can wallbang onto all of these attacking operators from below, or send a few C4s up to deny this plant.
Or send up a few C4s two currently in the pockets of MG minions. Even Bravo drones coming out, missing those shots. Oh, please don't hunt it down with the shotgun. There we go. We finally claimed it. An attempt there. And in the meanwhile, MVG's lineup 2 has switched according to the site. As we see the Bravo, as per mentioned, to get rid of those Maestros, it is going to be the primary target for those drones and the ESA. The ESA here will be a deadly asset that you really need to be careful of.
I don't think they knew until very late in the prep phase that Archives was the site. Like, normally the Thatcher, Mav, Osa, this is all for getting main breach on Garage. So I think they've been a little bit surprised that the site itself is Archives. So obviously they definitely saw the Maestro, that's why you've got the Bravo pick, but I don't think they would have wanted to bring this lineup if they knew the site was Archives.
The only thing I can imagine here would be the back wall. That's why we have the Thatcher and Ace, and of course they bring out the Cade. The Maverick is definitely an odd pick, especially on this side, but if it's their pick, we're not going to be stopping them from using them. It's only up to their benefit. Will they reap off of it or not? That depends, but what are we thinking, Ane? Just running behind it? You have gone up, down, back to back many times, and have you not learned your lesson that your enemies can shoot bullets?
Puffer Bob, he's pre-firing the corner!
Oh, God.
Oh, it's still popping off now as if somehow managed to
Oh,
find
really
the
is?
back.
Oh, MVG here. I mean, they're popping. You said it. They're absolutely going to town with it, and they're having no soul be left behind to be dug down. MG minions in the meanwhile. You have the two operators I mentioned at the very beginning, the last one to live. Even the Maverick hole is being made as of current. Pings there onto one of the players as Just is going to be down, brought to the barbed wire. Definitely a way to go out. One of the many, and it's ticked off of my bingo board for today, but matters not as now it's 2-2. Playing against this Maestro is definitely going to be deadly, but the fact that they have so much information is going to be even deadlier. No down just yet. The shotgun up close. A deadly, deadly weapon that you do not want to come in confrontation with. These Maverick holes may be becoming quite useful as Hatchie catches on Orthy off guard, and the last one up close, ready to be personal. A rotation coming to be brought out. Diffuser not picked out yet. A bit of confusion as you get to the down. You get a rotate, but Hatchie already waiting for you as MVG bring it 4-4.
On the server stairs, Maestro was mag dumping the corner. Like, he's literally just like mouse 1 pre-fire, or not, RT. It's not mouse 1 anymore. Right trigger, spamming the shit out of this corner, and we've just walked straight into it. Like, what are we doing? But then somehow out of nowhere, MolotovGang have completely shifted the round on its head by finding 2 entry kills as they get their execute going. One right here, lovely work from the Brava, as lovely work from the Ace elsewhere, to result in this 3v3, and they've just rided that momentum into the site itself within the last 20 seconds to make something happen. So a lovely attack coming in from MolotovGang on a site that you don't see very often, Puffer.
It definitely would be the last pick-me for me. One of these sites, it tends to be a high skill ceiling set, right? I mean, it's good, but you really need to know how to use it, and of course your team chemistry comes in along with it. We saw in the end that it can really turn on its head the second things go south, although MVG, it matters that they've equalized it out now, and it has gone to a point where it is a race for match point, 2 rounds away from it, 3 rounds from winning it within regulation, and well, 1 round away from that 5th, which is just a bit of a bridge between.
It is going to be a repeat on the site, and you can see this time now that they know it is a repeat of the site itself. The lineup's just a little bit different, but it seems like they actually do like this very hard breach heavy lineup to hit the side of server. I think they're going to have a very similar take to push down those server stairs, as I think the lineup from MG Minions is really good. They've got the info they need, they've got the C4s to be able to deny the plant. I think the problem was they just got out-fragged as the attack started to close the net on the site itself. So we'll have to see if these C4s can be put to a bit of a better use to shut down these entry players.
Things have cooled off for a second. We're beginning the action phase. And players still here trying to gather as much as they can as MVG. Without no entry, without that backside, it's going to be difficult. And now without an OSA even, protection is going to be a bit less.
It seems like Castle is very aware that they're looking to sneak these Bravo drones into the site. Good work from him to protect the cameras, protect his team's assets. As this time it's much better for MolotovGang. We're going top floor, but they haven't droned this player out. Interlude gets away with another smash and grab as he gets gifted a freebie on that top floor, Puffo.
Freebie it is, and well, he gets away with it scot-free. Does he find another here? He is making a very good loop-de-loop, trying to have for a bit of a Bit of a turnaround, and in the meanwhile, still trying to find him out. No seeking yet. Ane on that drone does get the pings out, but Interlude, he finds another, and all this chaos while people are hunting him down and about to run into the lovely hands of this Thatcher, who does put him down finally after 2 were lost, but it's a greater loss than it is a win here.
Why are we peeking before the drone has spotted him? Just don't move. Like, you have no info, you have no idea where he's gone. Just wait for your teammate to figure out where the fuck he's gone, and then you can peek him. Like, why are we... It's basics, man. But they finally got the trade, but the damage has been done. Interlude's given his team the man advantage once again, Puffo.
Pulling this hatch is going to be a pivotal position. Isan taking some damage earlier. One of these players even dropped down to the hands of the barbed wire. And there's going to be great utilization of that torch as burning through. You find a bit of crisp, and well, MVG are eating up for one extra player. Because that KD's only going up. MG Minions do need to return as slowly everything's closing down on them.
They've got 40 seconds to hit the site. That's a lovely C4 raining out from below. But they've got so much info on the site, Puffo, as this execute comes in.
Oh yeah, it's about to come in. Still not too quite sure. That C4 was pinpointed. The Thatcher 8 C4 has breakfast, and while right now MG Minions are going to town with it yet again, as although that TCSG, you know, it's a slug shotgun, it definitely delivers more than a blow. The last one, Hattie, will be a victim to these Maestro cameras, and in Dorothy, he's just bullying him from one side below. That is absolute cinema, as we do have the final one, and MG Minions back on the lead.
They had all 3 Maestro cams, Puffo, in the site itself. It didn't even manage if you punched one. There was 2 other ones ready to zap that guy as the low HP of the final player being capitalized upon by the Maestro. I think this is a perfect case of the drone work from MolotovGang just isn't where it needs to be. You can't let Interlude run through you like that. But I love the little play from here, by the way, to find the castle. They knew the castle, that was his hidey hole position, as he was spotted out very early in the round, and there's not really a whole lot else he can play. A lovely nitro as well, finding its mark as the cover wasn't quite there from the ace to shoot that out mid-air. Need to hit the aim labs to be able to hit those. I believe there is a drill for it as well, Puffer, of practicing shooting the C4s.
Honestly, I wouldn't know. I'm not a competitive player. I scream at pixels. That's my profession as of current. And well, MolotovGang, it's your profession to put MG Minions into the dirt. You're definitely not doing the job quite great, especially although on the attack you have been nicely in their shadow, following one round for another, trying to equalize it constantly. Maybe you do it again. But who knows? We're at an extra 2. Right now, MG Minions take it away, and you're going to be already going to map 2, declared as a loser in the first one. Not definitely the best way to kick it off, although, to push it back, right now there's still a lifeline for MVG before they face match point, and they really want to keep it, as that pressure for having to really reach overtime, it is brutal.
Let's just chill out a little bit. It's only 5-4. It's on the defense for MolotovGang.
That's what they all say.
There's still a lot of time in this game for MolotovGang to make the comeback. I think it's a little early to call which.
It's like one round before match point. What do you mean?
Yeah, but like MolotovGang, it's defense on Consular. This is like the best map in the game, Puffo, to make the comeback on your defense.
MG Minions is on defense. That's the thing. MG Minions is on defense.
Sorry, ignore me. I'm just being... You're completely right. Ignore me. This is where it's looking really tough. I completely changed my tune. MolotovGang need to dig deep and make something happen here if they want to keep themselves in this game. As it's the complete opposite of what I just said. They are now facing the hardest map to attack, but that's a good way to start by getting an opening trade.
Well, definitely, they're still trying to shut me up for a second. Amguns, maybe they're just going to prove your point to be correct. As well, though, you do lose out on just. Spen is not going to be the best of trade-off. Those Roteros would have come in quite handy, as the Goyo canister still may stand for much longer than anticipated. And although it is a 1-for-1, gun for gun, it matters not because Admin is still being under possession of MG Minions. As long as they keep Interlude in the pack, it will be difficult to enter.
The other thing to mention is all of Goyo's utility is already on the map. Flores has just been taken out early with all of his gadgets still available, which is not ideal. So I think if you're the Goyo, you'll very happily take this trade, as Ash is just in the site, Puffo.
Oh my god, Isan, he's getting away with too much. Although, finally, we actually know what to shut him down. He's going for an ace. One more player to stand in front of absolute glory. And will Isan be the official judge, jury, and executioner? Ane doing a bit of a dance, a bit of a tad left, right, and center. Hatsu with the final. And wow, that quad from Isan. It is well deserved as his aim proves to be the peak of the crop. But in the meanwhile, MG Minions, why are we allowing it to happen?
They're breaking the unsaid rule. If someone's on for the ace, you're supposed to bait and then give the info peek. so that way that you can, let your player get the ace. So Nomad breaking the unwritten rules of Siege there. As
I
Knight,
see.
that you spotted him out. Yeah, you gotta let this player get his ace, man. He's worked so hard to get those 4 kills. A lovely entry work from him. But come on, man, give him the ace. Give him the ace, Puffo.
Hassie, what are we thinking? Let the man ace. Was already onto a quad. He would have won you the round anyway, so might as well just risk, like, what, 4 players going in? I mean, there's a small chance for the final one to happen, but M-Guns, I think there have been situations where people tried to help out with the ace and it really goes downhill. But they're rare. They're rare, right? We do want the ace. We want an ace today because it's a good matchup. MG Minions, they have one person in staff voting for them. Oh-ho, you are their one carry right now. In chat, I better see a W MG Minions from you. But in the meanwhile, MVG have a good title. So again, the fact that MG Minions are putting up this much of a fight, at least from my experience, is definitely something new, but I'm loving it.
Yeah, this has been a great game so far to watch. And it's great to see that these teams can get attacking victories on the board convincingly at that as well. Generally speaking, when we watch a lot of these consular games, it's not even close on this top floor. A lot of teams get up to that admin position, up to that checker's hallway, and then just stall out completely. Not here. Not on this consular, not here on ESA. Both of these teams have been an amazing job of breaking that deadlock, of finding ways into the site itself. Ash, in this case, is absolutely popping off for herself as she absolutely cooks the defense.
Oh, yeah.
But give her the ace. You gotta give her the ace, boys.
Come on, what are we thinking? Throwing already, MVG. No, but still, credit where it's due. Isan, absolutely fantastic. How much he got away with it, I don't know. But MG Minions, that was a mistake and a brutal one at that. Almost as bad as what we saw earlier, even with Interlude running out. I said I wasn't going to forget the run out Interlude. I'm still onto your case. But as we're currently having technical difficulties, let's talk about a bit more into the future. Let's say, okay, this is getting really close, so I don't think we can really predict which way it's going to go, because it's 5-5 right now. If anyone wins 2 rounds in a row, it's going to be going, into regulation victory, or we go overtime, which would be quite nice, but Chalet follows. And, well, speaking from Consulate side, Consulate and Chalet are not alike, and, well, M-Guns, would you give us a bit more depth on what you would expect for teams to work on going into Chalet?
I actually think Chalet's going to suit both of these teams better than Consular. If you think about it, look how aggressive these teams are being on their attacks on a defender-sided map. Imagine the carnage that's going to ensue when we go to an attacker-sided map like Chalet. It's absurd. They've taken what's normally a very defender-sided map and turned it into a complete 50-50 of just who can frag out harder. The only thing I would like to see is a little bit more of controlled aggression. There's been a lot of opportunities in this game where we've seen very advantageous positions for the attack buffo, and they've just been thrown away, unfortunately, because they've let the defense get aggressive, or they've over-peaked, or they've thrown that man count away. So I think, especially on Chalet, where you need to solve problems a lot earlier, and the rounds can go from 0 to hero, we just need to see a little bit more composure from the side of the attack to just not give away the advantage that they have created for themselves on the attack. That'll be my main thing, Puffo.
Oh yeah, that is definitely going to be interesting. Oh, Chalet is going to be such haven for us casters. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see. And again, that's more of a reason why all of you watching currently should stay tuned. Maybe even share it with a friend so they could also get into the action before map 2 starts. Because Consulate, we're still having it currently. If you don't remember, if anyone has short-term memory loss, it is 5-5, and a couple of minutes more remain before we set up. Now, 5-5, I mean, again, this is a bit more defender-sided, so seeing as how aggressive these attackers are, and like you perfectly rounded it up, Amguns, I'm interested how this is going to actually go, because like you said, this is going to be, it's going to be close. I can't have another way of describing it. Both of them have been having a decent matchup on their attack, while though we did see MG Minions win 3 rounds, I think the similar is going to follow here for MVG.
This is the best thing about it though, right? Is we like games where we don't know which way it's going to go. We've got everybody back in the lobby. We're good to go as we get this rest of this game underway, Puffo. And this is the way we like it. We don't want to be able to see which team's going to win. It's completely in the hands of the players to cook something up for us, and then hopefully they'll how do I explain this? They'll work hard for the win, as both of these teams being absolutely neck and neck with each other across 10 rounds so far, Puffo.
Neck and neck, hitting those double digits, and the score still has not proven who wants to take the W and who wants to walk home with map 1. Well, I guess time is about to tell as we're heading into the action phase. And M-Guns, we're seeing some nasty lineups here, and MG Minions, if information wasn't enough, why not a Valkyrie?
I really like the lineup that we're seeing from the side of Minions. We've got the K to try and keep the wall closed for just a little bit. The most interesting thing about it, MolotovGang haven't brought a Thatcher. Thatcher's available, and he's the old reliable way of dealing with this Cade. So it could be that MolotovGang, want to use that vertical presence to be able to open up this breach, but the extension from MG Minions looks to be well equipped to deal with a take from above.
Well equipped indeed. I'm really terrified of what MVG are going to be responding to once they feel that 5-pound C4. Absolute explosive right beneath their feet. And in the meanwhile, the counter to the Demos, the Jackal as well, tracking down this Vigil as he needs to make a runway for it. Dermot's in the present. There comes Interlude. His presence overwhelming, and Hatsy puts another down. An elimination favoring MG Minions as they took out the Ram and Ash both. But the Vigil still lurks above, and you need to track him down before he finds you. And just, he knows what time of the hour it is as he does take him out, and that's going to be a bit more scot-free to take this top floor.
The main problem is, Potter, we've traded the wrong operators. We've lost the Ram, which is crucial to getting the breach open for this lineup. At least the IQ can still find the Cade floor through the floor if they do want to make something happen. But this Jackal shotgun compared to the Ram that we've lost is not ideal. Like, really, we should be sending the Jackal the IQ first to take these initial gunfights. So again, all of Goyo's utility is down. Vigil's a selfish operator in his own right. So I think MolotovGang are going to be losing out on these opening engagements once again due to the fact that the defensive utility is going to reign king now because the attacking utility has been taken out so early.
Both the meals of these two players, and rather these two teams, miss a bit of spice, an extra pinch of salt. And, yeah, no, I mean, it is. Finally we maybe get it, but it's going to take some time. Everyone wants to take their sweet and precious time. As is in the current moment, we are seeing verticality come out, but you've lost out on the Ram and Ash. It's not going to be the best, and yellow is definitely going to be one of those places and areas you want to have access of.
Indeed they are, as now they've just got to decide how they want to save this round. Just pick somewhere, hit it with, say it with your chest, we're going here, this is how we're going to make something happen. As they might better get the hatch open, you can put the thermite charge on the soft wall to still get the hatch. But it looks like it's going to be a backside take coming in here, Puffo, as they can't get anything open on the front.
They cannot really have anything penetrated, and well, we're looking for a bit of a crack in the armor as here comes one! Dermis! Oh, a nasty one! He hides out, an absolute rat of a play, but you can respect him for it. As well, MG Minions have already put one down. That's going to be extra pressure from the clock as it's ticking down, and you only have 10 seconds, plus the defuse. There's the shotgun, the C4, but the knife comes in from Hatsy! I don't think it matters who wins this, while though the war has been won by MG Minions already, comes one from a Northe as he shuts him down. The last one from Shea and MG Minions. The only thing I'd be worried about is how that knife came along.
Yeah, the roam game from MG Minions single-handedly winning them the round. The game plan from MolotovGang had to go out the window as soon as they lost their key operator for the execute, which was that Ram. They needed that mid-floor vertical control to get the breach open, to dislodge the defenders. They couldn't make any of it happen because unfortunately the Ram was taken out first. Your key entry player of the Ash losing their opening engagement as well. And unfortunately, the trade of operators hasn't worked out for MolotovGang's favour, and that's why you have to see them in the last 10 seconds, full sending it with no info into the site. They still had 5 drones available though, Puffo, as that execute came in, so I would have liked to see them just be a bit more calm and composed and try and use some of those drones earlier before they full sent it, just to give them some information on when some of those anchor players were.
Yeah, I feel like the attacking side isn't utilizing whatever it is, but rather turning this match into a bit of gun mayhem. And I can definitely still, Isan, most of these players on MVG, they are comfortable in their guns, they can shoot when they need to, but utility-wise and prioritizing who on your team dies and who doesn't, it isn't the best. Again, we definitely know that you can't just pick and choose which of your operators is going to be taken out first, but you can still try to secure them safely. Like you said, Amguns, put the Jackal up first. Maybe have Isan on the front lead, not necessarily the Ram.
And a little cheeky spawn peek coming out here from Spen, as he's been absolutely feeling himself. Him and Interlude being the star players across this first map, also MG Minions. He's just trying to punish any little thing he can, getting aggressive, and I love to see it because you can get a huge pick early, you'll be sorted for the rest of this round. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to find anything as that breach is going to get reinforced off.
Yeah, it's nicely patched up. Don't need no openings. Extra ones aren't going to be unnecessary for MG minions, as that's just extra work for them. And MVG currently sticking rooftop side. Who's going for a bit of clearage of not only a bit of gadgets as Amikibas majorly, but also, again, looking to aim and get rid of these Goyos, lesions, and Fenrirs at most, I imagine.
And this is where it is going to be an admin side over once again.
Oh,
a lovely
Ane,
run
though.
out.
That's going to be interesting. Oh, that's just sad. It's not a good start for MG Minion, especially if they want to have a 7-5 here.
Yeah, and Spen has been the key star man, or one of the key star men for the MG Minions, being punished early as the C4 is going to find its mark. That's nicely traded back with the C4 in hand. That's going to be Hassi taken off the board. Another star man in this lobby taken out early. So now we're into a bit of a standoff once again as MG Minions just holding on to admin, making it extremely difficult for MolotovGang to get any control on the building, Puffo.
This grasp over it is absolutely ridiculous, but no one's going to be entering in. And a northeast angle, if not spotted out, will be a difficult one. Yeah, we already see the yellow pings coming out. Those are going to be the flashes. The whip as well, looking to maybe a bit of Nene on the line. And while some damage for Justice, he can't connect him. But a northie with a shotgun. He swings from the left, he swings from the right. And then when they win this match, we'll sing it all night. And in the meanwhile, that's a 4-3 leading for the side of MG Minions and MolotovGang on their backbone.
As that's going to be the mute punished as well. Where is he going? He knows somebody's on that window the whole time as he tries to get away with his life. Should have just wasted more time and sat there and tanked it. But he is going to get punished early. He's trying to put this F2 to work. We're not going to be able to find anything as Abzami's still here, taking these fights as Ash is hunting for this pick Puffo. But at least they've managed to get themselves into admin now.
Too late for dinner, as right now MolotovGang are looking to serve MG Minions some bullets on a silver platter. Not having the best of it though. They've been definitely eating quite heavy with them. That's just not a healthy snack, I call it. And that's a down onto Isan as he's the first to fall of the 3 to remain. Ryok's always there, a supportive commander, but always, even when you enter side, you need to be careful of where the Sazami leads, as that's a down to finish from the Goyo burning you down, and Ane has to go for the plant. I mean, there's no time remaining, and MG Minions, they can just close into the final one. He's not going to be sticking it through, he cancels out, but sadly no time remains, and Interlude with a final! That's MG Minions taking it map number 1, 7-5 fashion. The final round, they could have done it within regulation, and map number 1, according to predictions from staff, is absolutely false, but I mean, MG Minions prove us wrong yet again.
I mean, they are the victors, right, of I was about to say VG3, of ESA. It makes sense why our staff and all of everybody predicted that this was going to go the way of MolotovGang, but this is great work from MG Minions to bring it back, to take it to the champs, to get themselves an advantage in the first map. They've now got another map on Chalet to secure the series, to send them into that 2-1 slot to fight for a promotion directly into the playoffs. It's lovely work from them. But the thing I wanted to point out was, it's just the gun skill from both of these teams. These guys are just fragging out with each other, going in ham, and a lovely bait and switch in that last round to close out the game on Consulate. To going into Chalet, it's going to be chaos, Puffo Bob. I think a lot of these both of these teams are going to find it such a map that suits their playstyle so well, considering if they're making aggressive plays on cons, imagine what they're going to be able to make happen on a map that's actually suited for those aggressive plays. I can't wait for this second map, Puffo.
I can't either. I mean, I'm already 10 steps forward. And well, if we want to get to that map as quickly as we can, then let's head to break as quickly as we can. As grab yourself something to eat, something to drink, a bit of a snack, whatever to munch on, and we'll be right back. A quick break, and well, quickly back into the action as we're hopping over to map number 2, Chalet. And M-Guns, what happened on Consulate?
What happened on Consulate is we absolutely had a frag fest from both of these teams with a little bit of strategy mixed into it, which is great to watch. Both of these teams playing really good Siege, as long as showing their mechanics off on their rollers, which was lovely to see, as an absolute ping-pong of a game, ending 7-5 to the side of our underdogs, which are MG Minions. So lovely work from them. And this is the first time ever the lower seeded team have won a map at this point in the tournament. So lovely stuff from them as we move in towards Chalet, Puffer Bob.
Oh, Chalet cools it down. The map's atmosphere only brings around winter, and we don't want any winter no more. We've been in this really sad, cold area and place in the world for way too long, so bring summer, bring some heat, and hopefully these teams will bring that heat to us, as right now, Chalet, like you said it, comparing how it was on Consulate, and as you mentioned previously, I mean, Chalet should be an absolute banger, right?
It should be indeed, as it's a much more fragger-heavy map. It's a lot smaller, like something like Consulate. We should be getting into the action a lot faster, especially these two teams showing how aggressive they want to play the game. I think Chalet's going to be an absolute frag fest for us, and it should be good fun to watch, Puffer Bob.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun because, I mean, I think everyone was caught off guard, especially the SAM team, because MVG, and if you weren't here for the introduction earlier or when the map came in, MVG have won the previous season of ESA. So ESA Cup Season 9 was won by them, and Minions, I mean, they're a solid team, but they haven't been this good. Either MVG are off their match day, or Minions have absolutely bypassed limits. Whatever it may be, it's a good match, and that's what we're here to see.
MG Minions, they took it personally, right? They were, everybody was doubting them in the predictions. Everyone thought, MolotovGang are going to get a really convincing win here as the reigning champs, but no. Minions are here to play. They haven't come to watch. They are here to crack on with it, fight for that 2-1 spot to get a chance to fight for a playoff spot, as a 3-1 will send them into the playoffs. As Maverick's going to be banned out early by MolotovGang, Puffo, that's a really interesting ban, as now Caden to Barrow combination now becomes extremely overpowered in my opinion.
Oh yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. I mean, hopefully we get the traditional ban of Tubara back to counteract what was given away on the attacking side for the Maverick, although the Brava is of no surprise. I mean, the Brava here is a powerful operator on many sites, but here serves a bit of a stronger purpose because of how placed the default cams is, how utility can be placed, and how useful it is at times. So of course, Brava not much of a surprise, and the first defender to be taken off will be, unsurprisingly, the Azami.
Yeah, Azami, goated operator. She's so good on mezzanine, she's so good on basement, even on kitchen she's annoying to deal with. On library, on bar she's annoying to deal with. No surprise that she's banned out there. I'm really hoping, because the Bravas come out from MolotovGang, that we're going to see a lot of Maestro usage. I think it was last time we were here on ESA, Puffo, that Brava was banned for the sheer use of Capcan. There was a team, I can't remember who it was, they banned Brava just to bring Capcan every single round. Please don't give me a repeat of that. Please, Siege Gods above, don't tell me they banned Brava just to play Capcan.
Oh, it was on Border? Was that the map we were looking at?
Yes, that's the one.
It was Border, yeah.
Oh,
that was so
round.
legendary.
no Maestro in sight. It was just Capcan. Like, what the hell?
I mean, respect the grind, they're really dedicated onto that Capcan, but it is unusual, to say the least. And well, we head into map 1. M-Guns, this is where it starts. This is where things do get a bit switchy, and we also get operators that we didn't see earlier, and already speaking of them, Mira, Aruni, and Wamai.
Yes, lovely combination of operators to keep this utility alive. It's almost, in my opinion, if you're bringing a Mira, 100% of the time you should be bringing a Jaeger or a Wamai to protect that utility, especially now that Kali's a very valid counter. Mira's a very valid counter? Mira counting herself would be crazy. But now that Kali and Ash also counter Mira, you need to be bringing something to protect that utility, so that way it's just not cleared off the board immediately. So I'm really liking the lineup coming in from the side of MG Minions here to hold on to Kitchen, of all things. You'll probably be wondering, why are we holding Kitchen? It's to deny entry into West Main, deny entry into Trophy. It basically completely negates a solar side take the attack might deploy to get into the building. So I really like the strategy coming in from MG Minions. They've clearly thought about how they want this defense to go, Puffo.
have it all locked down. They are nightly doing their homework on MVG probably as well, right, before going into this match. As not only have they been holding their own weight, they've been pulling a bit more than they're intended to. And again, stat predictions have, I don't want to necessarily go off of numbers alone, I'm not a nerd like it, but in the meanwhile, I mean, again, MVG have a really good reputation, and MG Minions here are proving every single one of us wrong, besides Oho. I mean, Oho, if you're in chat, you're right now absolutely banging on your buck.
Ash has already taken all of library side. It's great initial control from the side of MolotovGang to capitalize on this kitchen site hold that's been deployed by MG Minions. The question is going to be, though, they've got all this control, what are they going to do with it, Puffo?
What will they do? Well, a question that only many wonder, but no answers yet. Varrox attempting a bit of a wallbang there, a cheeky one at that, and he needs no wallbang to take out a Northie. That's one spotted, and in the meanwhile, just going to be downed. Another count for the victim, and all of a sudden, MVG, you lost one, you gained one, but the IQ isn't fully out just yet. Although we speak of him, interlude, he joins the pile of bodies. Thanks to one gun and one man, two have been lost for MG Minions, and we're looking to return that favor as Shea takes out Aine, and now it's going to be absolutely packed. Right now, the peak here, deadly, connecting those shots, and Multihatchy on the job for the two. MolotovGang, even with the down, recovering from it, and two to return, double down on the man count. MG Minions are quite troubled.
Yeah, this has gone 0 to hero as MolotovGang using all of that control that was offered to them to get a lovely, as you might find both here, Puffo. He does indeed. And just like that, this round's got turned on its head once again. We're getting the frag fest we wanted, Puffo.
Oh, it's the clock of sand constantly going up and down. We can't decide when it's going to be ending. But in the meanwhile, Hatchy's already made his way to site and he's found the cage. An extra one to put into his KD case. And although the plant may be going down, there's a C4 right below. We need to amp up for it. Use it correctly. Gonna go off of Sound Q's alone. And sadly, that's going to be utilization not at its finest. Going through those gridlocks track like there's not a care in the world. No information. Don't know where you're being held from. Gonna be a bit too late. And so little HP to fight against two very healthy and very hungry operators. Call them Shark. They're seeking out for blood, ready to peek, and he's right on your left. Hatsy with a final shot, and MVG with round number 1.
Yeah, this is lovely stuff from the side of the attack. Once again, completely capitalizing on how much space was offered to them. They pinched onto the site from every which way. They had somebody on big window. They had an armory presence. They had an armory presence, a solar presence, a library presence, and they've just put a box around these MG players, as that's lovely work, by the way, to hop over these gridlocks to get this nice double trade back to keep the round close. But MolotovGang did a great job of using that control they could gain early to get opening picks and make it difficult for the defense. MG Minions just got caught a little bit off guard, I think, by how much pressure MolotovGang could apply to them from the windows, from library, and just every which way as they constricted onto that top floor. Like a cobra.
Like a cobra. Sneaky snake. MG Minions here. One certain operator that throws off many players, and many more players have a real rough time dealing with him, is going to be the clash from a Northie. And speaking of, I mean, Amguns, this clash is going to be deadly. I'm surprised we didn't get to see her on Consulate. But Chalet, I mean, not much of a surprise, as again, this operator definitely deals a hefty amount of damage when used correctly.
Yeah, the main thing is, I think the clash being brought out just to give MG Minions a way to deal with the aggression from MolotovGang. You can see by the lineup of MolotovGang, they have got ways to open the breach, but it doesn't seem like it's a main priority, especially for MG Minions. With the Caden to borrow, they should be able to keep this breach closed indefinitely. There's no reason why, unless somehow the claw's been found from below, that this breach gets opened, which should hopefully, combined with the clash, give MG Minions a bit more space to work with, so they don't feel as pressured to peek or get aggressive. They can just be a little bit more comfortable on the site itself, Puffer Bob.
Small steps is what we need from MVG. It took smaller ones, but larger than to be anticipated. Isan taking early damage, not going to be the best start off, although you still have that gun in hand, so make sure to put it to use before you are taken out. And droning coming in, this is one thing that we didn't see as much as expected from the last few rounds on Consulate MVG, though they adapt and overcome, and still a lot of time to work with.
Looks like it's a much more rigid library overtake this time around for the Salah MolotovGang. I'm not opposed to this at all. The key thing is going to be, when we get up to the execute part of this itself, what are we going to do to deal with these problems, like the clash, like the shield, like the Kanan tomorrow? That's my main concern, Puffo.
Main concern it is. And right now, there's going to be more than just that concern. People are starting to close in here on MG minions as we're starting to feel the tension rise. Even going out, the Clash is feeling a bit more than just close and personal. Zapping the Ace maybe for later damage. A C4 there would have been quite deadly. No connection, did back off in time. And right now, the attackers, they don't seem to find an easy entry.
Yeah, they're looking for this Cade Claw. This is a really nice adaptation by MolotovGang. They've identified they need to get this breach open. The EMPs are not going to be the way to do it. They need to get the claw off the wall, as they're just hunting to get that Cade Claw off. But again, if they don't find it soon, they don't get this breach open, they've still got the Clash they need to figure out how to solve as well. As they found the claw on one of their sides, as they're gearing up with about a minute to go, which is lovely work. So, as expected, with the control they need, now they can start really putting pressure on the site itself.
One small step for man and one huge step against MolotovGang, as right now MG minions have started feeling that dictation go against them. Up until now, they've been really controlling every single move that's been being made. Although Sven, he makes the first, and that's going to be the first leading in towards MG minions as he takes out an attacker, one to follow in the name of Interlude, and now they're all going to be crumbling apart. Variox having very low HP and going up against a Clash is just going to be unfortunate. I don't think we even get to that point, as there's the run out, the final one standing. You get a complimentary, but that's as far as we reach as a second one for the defenders, and now it's starting to get a bit more interesting.
This was shooting fish in a barrel for the side of MG minions as they funneled in the attack. They've done what they needed to this time around. They've brought adaptations to reduce the amount of pressure MolotovGang can put onto the site itself, and unfortunately for the side of MolotovGang, when you are funneled in through a doorway and a double door, it's very predictable where your players are going to be. And with the Clash giving live information over to the side of everybody on minions as well, it's literally just shooting fish in a barrel. You just know where everyone is, you can take these gunfights with massive amounts of confidence to completely shut out the attack, and that's a lovely response from MG minions compared to the absolute carnage of a round that ensued in the first round from MolotovGang.
An equalization as early as it can be, besides that 0-0, which is never to be counted. And while MG minions have backed off of top floor, went one below exactly, now needing not to extend into kitchen, but quite the opposite of earlier, and still bringing along the Clash is going to be quite a interesting spot. I'm hoping that MVG this time around can be a bit quicker on how quickly they breach, how quickly they have entry, because right now it was quite one-dimensional, right? They could push onto piano double door, maybe they could get that breach into usage, but past it, I mean, MG minions just hold those 2-3 angles, and it was a job easy done.
It was indeed. As we're going to see a lot of this Clash, I think, from MG minions. This might be a little bit of a perma-pick now for the side of MG minions, as they seemed much more confident with that operator available to them. As I really like this as well from the Cade. He's readjusting where he's putting these claws to try and make sure that they are not findable from anywhere below in that mezzanine area, which is getting really good work with their gadget early to take some of this late round utility out.
Jumping in, Hattie, he's seeking to have people catching strays. No caveat just yet, although just yet is the key factor here, as although while action may have not been unfolding, it's only a moment of time. It's only due to due diligence until actually things start to heat up, and as of current, people have been backing off. You really don't want to give that opening to anyone just yet, but information will start pouring, and so will kills any moment.
Yeah, this is going to be resembling very much the same as it was in the previous round, but the difference is this time they find the opening pick. MG doing great work to get an opening pick to take the Tabara of all people out as well. This should make getting the wall much easier. Now we can use the EMPs to actually just open this up normally. We don't need to go below, but looks like we want to go below anyway, as IQ gets on a high horse to try and find this Cade Claw. She's got a little bit of vertical gameplay she needs to deal with herself, so they're making this a little bit more complicated than it needs to, as you do have the EMPs as well.
Oh, the Clash is fighting back, pulls out the secondary, the 9 milli, and that's going to be one for a North. He doesn't use the shield, no protection required, when you're an absolute menace to society. MG minions, although you lost out on your beloved interlude, that's going to be the Tubarao taken off. You return to double the price, looking to maybe even check it out. There's still one below. Northy playing his cards very safely. He does not want to step into the wrong spot, because if he does, there could be a trap waiting for him. Breach is going out, and people are going to slowly start closing in on this Clash.
They've taken 2 minutes just to get the breach open on this top floor. The rest of the defense is going to be very comfortable on the site itself, as there's 3 players actually invested in holding this top floor along with the Clash. If the attack can realize that everybody is geared up on this top floor, they might be able to just sneak into the bomb site itself.
Oh, and this is about to really get into it, and that's one kill. Oh, we have the drop of a body, although not a second, but in the meanwhile, what matters is the fact that MG Minions have picked up a bit of aggression, and in the meanwhile, that's the pace we've been looking for to really start that tempo and going, and just like earlier, they connected to a second. A third will be going into the favor for Iox, who always is there to really pick up some action onto that F2, but matters not that things have cooled down, but MVG, that's just not the moment you're looking for. You've made your entry into trophy side while you're completely surrounded by the side of MG Minions, even from top ground. The Clash coming there to personally greet you. Hatch not being played necessarily, but will be quite active. Although you find the head pop, that's going to be one. And North completely cornered. And as long as you find this Clash in the final few moments, it's going to be a bare minimum for MG Minions as they work with one player. Going into sight, you need to watch out for these verticals. And in the meanwhile, speak of the devil, Endurance shall appear. He shuts you down. The plant going down. A belly flop from Hatch will be more than enough. And although the Clash does get it, time has ran out. That was a worthy sacrifice from the final. And Durmus? Yeah, there we go. We was waiting for a second.
We need to drop surely to deny this, as it's all popped off in the last few minutes. But again, I think MolotovGang on their attack have kind of dropped the ball a little bit. I think they, mid-round, because there was so many bodies invested by the side of Minions on the top floor, got a little bit distracted. Like you can see here the pinch coming out onto these piano players. These guys have got no bearing on the site hold itself. You've done the hard work. You've cleared out office. So now you can go get the kitchen wall open and go for that plant on default. The Clash you can keep an eye on from the breach to stop her using the vert as well. I don't think I understand the decision from MolotovGang here to want to sweep the top floor. Generally the take is you go, okay, you've got office open, you leave maybe one or two guys there to stop the retake of office, and then you send everybody else to go get the diffuser down on that kitchen wall. So I'm not quite unsure what the thinking was to want to clear the top floor, but either way, MG Minions have accepted the pressure very, very well, as we've actually reinforced the wall the wrong way around. So there's not going to be a mirror inside of the normal position. Looks like we might be seeing both of these mirrors used above here, as we're not going to see any Clash either this time around, Puff above.
No Clash. Sadly, the shield operator has left the surroundings of MG Minions. MolotovGang, what I'm interested into seeing is when will they maybe use a shield themselves, while the Blitz and Monty definitely don't provide the most of utility, and even then they do. They are still quite solid on this map. It's the Blackbeard that I'm looking to seek out, and although new additions are coming in, especially the Grim being used, which is absolutely fantastic to see, and the Capitao being an absolute classic on a side like Baron Gaming, I don't know, I feel like the Blackbeard does fit here.
And yeah, it is going to be a double mirror setup above. If you've never seen this before, this has been the sort of meta quite recently coming from SI as, oh my god, Mira's almost caught off guard from the double window. She tries to get cheeky. Being set to 1 HP Puffo this early is not ideal to say the least.
No, it isn't. Northy, hopefully you get to keep your life just as long as you can use some of that C4 action, maybe get a bullet or two out. A kill claimed on the way would be absolutely handsome, but only those can choose who they want. And as of current right now, MolotovGang, they don't want to go for these one-sided directional pushes. No, we're going to take some multiple angles and apply pressure at a time.
And this double mirror setup is very much designed to counter... Ooh, a cheeky kill coming in for Verox here. As why are we peeking interlude? It's a lovely opening pick once again for MolotovGang as they punish the aggression. But this hold upstairs very much set to reject an office overtake.
Interlude will be leaving it one down, and MVG right now with a very graceful start. That might have been the pick to actually lead them onto this victory. As Interlude, he has proven himself to be a very dangerous opponent at many more times, especially being the Fenrir, but many follow along his steps, which are not the correct steps. Let me tell you, Dermis falls, another one, and another! So many! They just drop down! It's a pile! Dominoes, absolutely, MVG are stacking them one after another, and so many missed shots from the side of Minions, as they just cannot claim a single, and MVG are back online.
They are indeed, as they just rack up all the kills, and as I said, that's the nature of this map. It's very much like Border, where it's just complete carnage in the server, as MolotovGang finding all the kills onto MG Minions as they collapse onto the site. And what a surprise, back to top floor we go, and now we're going to see the Clash once again. This is where I'm really hoping MolotovGang start to adjust. For every site that's not been barred, we've seen the Clash been brought out. I really want to see like a Kali or a Zofia or just some more EMPs or even a Thatcher, if he's still available, to completely negate the influence of the Clash. as that seems to be something that MolotovGang have really been struggling to deal with throughout this game so far.
And I'm seeing similar results as we did on Consulate. A very equal fight from both of these sides. There's definitely been reigning supreme on the attack, but the defense also has its fair share, which again, going into the second, like previously, honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if we do end up going into OT. But that's for time to tell. We're going to leave for time to do its thing. And in the meanwhile, Amguns, we're heading into round 5 here, with Clash being back on action.
I like the use of the buck. If we want to take kitchen control here, because we've identified that there's no kitchen hold anymore, you got to remember from before, there was a bit of an extension coming out towards that kitchen side. That's no longer a thing from the lineup. This shield is not something I've ever seen before, Puffo? Is this a console strat that I just don't know how it works? What is this shield that we're seeing right next to the breach?
It's a mystery and a wonder of many. I guess it is just that type of wisdom that we will never understand. Maybe some console players can explain it one day, but that time has not yet come.
I'm very curious to see what this tech is with the breach, but MolotovGang once again getting the opening pick rewarded for their aggression. If Ash just wants to get aggressive here, Puffo.
Earlier was Hisan on the Ash, now Hachi looking to pick up on the action, maybe have a similar run of his legacy like yet again, although for now it has nicely stopped, but I don't think that's going to be holding for too long. Anorthi has been recognized the threat he is, and MG Minions for now just simply ignoring him, but you do not want to step too close to them. He pulls out the secondary just to take out the Selmas. Little does he know, one is close to trophy, which you do want to be aware about, and in the meanwhile, MG Minions, they've always been fantastic on this refract potential, and so they deliver.
And a trade coming back in the meantime, but this is great use of the verticality, but they need to use that vertical gameplay to clear out this clash. The nade hasn't found its mark, almost takes himself out with the nade. It's all carnage right now, Puffo, as they're trying to clear this clash out.
Oh, and Anorthi falls in all of it. You talk about carnage, I'm talking mayhem. People are right now dropping dead, and even your positioning has gone all astray. Hachi falls, there's a C4, and we get a finish onto it, as Hachi can't even get picked up. The board man is being absolutely bullied at the current meanwhile, and right now, 3-3, people have equalized it out. The damage on Aine has been fatal, but not fatal enough to drop an interlude, taking some mysterious damage from the outside. And MolotovGang stuck outside of it right now, as there's one from Variox. They have 2 claims yet again. It's another victim for the side of MolotovGang, and as of current nades coming out, this was one that almost killed you earlier, Aine. Now putting it out to maybe kill another. It's going to be multitasking at its finest. Right now pushing up, trying to flush out whatever remains of MG Minions, and in the meanwhile, though, Spen does not like what you're doing. He tries to fight back against it. He says a big fat no, and right now, 2-2. Again, MolotovGang always been losing on these refracts.
They've got the space they need, however, to start to get this kit down, but the vertical's working against them now, as this flank could come in as they're trying to execute onto site, Puffo.
They're trying to execute onto site. Aine does manage to get one, which is going to be leaving Interlude in a very disproportionate situation as he tries to climb up, but gets slipped, tripped, and in the meanwhile, a round from MVG.
Yeah, they did a really good job of executing a Solar Sud take to great effect. They've gone below because they've identified it's free real estate. They've used that verticality to clear the clash out. They've cleared other key positions that they need to clear. The only qualm I have with MolotovGang is they need to settle in the mid-round. They've done the hard work. They've got the man advantage that they're after. But then they just seem to find ways to let the defense back in. Tabaro found a double, just playing the default site positions. He found one through the hatch. He traded another one coming up the solar stairs. If we're just nitpicking hairs here, MolotovGang just need to keep it a little bit more composed, I think is the way I'm looking for. They need to just keep it together. Don't let the defense trade those kills up because you have the advantage. Just chill out, enjoy your man advantage. You can now breathe because you've got some initial space, as it doesn't need to be as close as MolotovGang are making it, but overall a great performance for them to get 3 rounds on the board on their attacking half.
Small breather to take. Silence for the dead. And MG Minions right now, they have, at the very beginning, been quite good on the pickup. Now they've dropped it. Need another hold of the situation to maybe have a very equal start into this first half. But it's not going to be looking good if they leave going 2-4. And then also having B on the attack in the second half. Quite a negative side for both things. A lost-lost situation. Well, MVG, they're bringing out the Blitz to maybe catch them off guard.
Yeah, this Agent of Chaos. We love to see it. I like to see that we've got a blitz on the board to cause some carnage for the last round of the half. MolotovGang looking to keep applying the heat onto MG, but the problem is we've got the Clash again. Clash is a direct counter to this shield usage. So once again, almost identical lineup for the side of MG Minions as they look to hold on to Kitchen. MolotovGang did manage to get this breach open last time around. If they can do the same and hit Kitchen this time instead, they should be in for a really good situation.
Shield v Shield, the counteract of the Blitz right now faced him in absolute terror, as when the Blitz gets your hands onto him, it's going to be absolute danger, but in the meanwhile, there's one for Spen, and we can always see that MG Minions again. This time around, they're going to be the ones to strike first. MVG, though, settling down, the Blitz making no headway, but as we speak of it, will be shut down on the side of Mezzanine Hallway, or Mezzanine Balk, and rather... Some shots coming out from the Tubra. They will have to retreat for now, but the Blitz keeps on trying to loop back to the same area and plays. Nades from behind him, and the Clash is being an absolute menace, not allowing anyone to walk through. But here comes the melee. No finish yet. Gonna be using the tech to rotate yourself just a bit for extra coverage. A lot backing up Anorthe here, as he's nicely shutting them down. And the time wasted here is gonna be beautiful. And a cheeky run out punished by Variox's Claymore. An explosive start, and a very good one at that, as MVG now start maybe having a promising way of afforded to deliver.
MolotovGang single-handedly just struggling to deal with this Clash. Clash single-handedly is just stopping this whole take onto the top floor. And lovely play, by the way, by Interlude to freeze the Claymore to let Doc get the opening kill for for MG Minions. But Cade's going to fall elsewhere as they're finding ways in here, MolotovGang.
Finding their waves in, and they're in sight, while everyone was so busy upstairs trying to rack up kills onto the Clash and maybe clear them out. In the meanwhile, we have players sticking in corners, securing your angles. Stairs be damned, and right now the Blitz is going to be rushing up to you, just waiting for that damage counter, and damage it is, as Just does find some extra fatal one onto it. For the 2 situation, the Clash is having to be focused onto the secondary weapon, which is definitely not the best, improved correctly by Hatchie. Spend the final one standing, needs to put in that work, the extra bullets to make them count, as only 3 are in his way, does not connect the headshot. It's going to be unfortunate, but what can you do about it? Well, you need to retry, but time is ticking against you. You need to reserve 7 seconds, and Hatchie reserve some bullets to put right between your eyes, as right now MVG will be having a solid run on their attacking side.
This is such a good round from MolotovGang. They've identified they don't need to take the whole of the top floor. This Clash and other players are not playing any verticality onto the site other than the hatch that's open. So all they've done is been like, cool, yeah, you guys chill out with your Clash on the top floor. We're going to go hit the bomb site, get that kit down, and make you come to us. So a lovely adaptation coming out from MolotovGang to realize they don't have to deal with all these top floor problems because they're not really stopping them from getting the kit down. So a lovely adjustment puffer coming in from the side of MolotovGang to direct all of their bodies, including the Blitz, just to hit the site itself, find the anchor, get that kit down. Lovely objective play. Macy J would be proud of MolotovGang in that round.
Macy J would be proud. I mean, that was beauty, right? It was symphony. They nicely orchestrated it, and in the end, it worked out perfectly according to plan. And well, some may say they were the puppeteers, MG Minions the puppets, and their strings being pulled, as now they have to face the defenders into 2-4. Like I said, this is a fate that I would not bestow it upon my worst of enemies, going 4-2 onto the attacking side, and you're in the creasing score, especially onto Chalet of all maps. That's going to be a big yikes for me.
And I'm really not surprised that MolotovGang have also brought a Clash out. Clash is literally every console player's worst nightmare. Yeah. I think especially if other teams are watching this game for ESA, we might be seeing a lot more Clash bans start to come out when these games start to get tough, like this game here to fight for a promotion or a relegation game. She's just so annoying. But like, again, the Monty being brought out by MG Minions is going to be directly countered by the Clash. We need to see direct Clash counters being brought by a lot more of these teams, as she's just such a nuisance puffer. She's just single-handedly winning these guys' rounds.
Ooh, and Nene, as much strength as the Clash has, it would have been all wiped if you didn't look in the correct direction for a second. It was dangerous, right? An extra bullet or two, and you would have wiped out that danger, MG Minions, but now it's going to fall upon you that the Clash lives. You do have a Monty, but that's not the best counter when your pushes are going to be slow, although we haven't seen an attack from them, so never say never.
Yeah, and this is where we might be able to use the Flores as a potential counter, but considering we haven't got the cutoff window open yet, it's a bit annoying, as we are going to need this open finally to get these castles opened up. It's just a case of crossfires are a potential way of countering this operator, But considering how much we abused it, surely we have better counters in mind. As that's going to be Gridlock falling early as well.
An unfortunate turn of events, but what can we do besides just bite the bullet? We're gonna need to bite down hard, MG minions. You could not take out the Clash, and you're gonna be the first ones to be struck. The first blood delivered onto you is the best way for a MolotovGang to take you out, especially going into a very solid 4-2. Like I mentioned, I'm not gonna keep on mentioning it over and over, but one more time will suffice. As in the meanwhile, Verticality trying to contest this IQ and deny from even taking out the Claw, as Nade's there to support. You're really throwing everything in, but Handguns, it has been so much time, and they're barely getting the breach, if even.
They're stalling out just like how they stalled out MG minions. Oh, sorry, how minions stalled out their opponents. As that's going to be an entry pick going to the defense as well. They just don't seem equipped to deal with an extremely similar take to what they were bringing on their own defensive side, Puffer.
No, they really don't, and if this Gridlock pushes into the Clash, it's going to be an unwinnable battle. As in the meanwhile, a lot of explosions are going off, but you have 45 right now, and you haven't put yourself a very decent precedent. The bully on the Monty, as he's getting constantly tapped, he does find one, but what are we thinking? There's a missed melee. In the meanwhile, Multi-Hatchy helps him out. This is absolute chaos. It's going all sorts of ways, but the right for MG minions, although in the meanwhile, there's 1-for-1, 2-for-1, but in the end, it's a 3v1, and Justin's going to be making sure it doesn't go any other way. The last one, stuck outside balcony. You can put down claymores as much as you want, but as long as this Clash lives, you are not going to be moving a muscle into site itself. Maybe you approach half wall, but that's about as deep as it goes. There's no breach. A beautiful breach fire from Turret is owning a minion shot, and as of 2 more standing, the zaps are coming through. Electrons, matter or not, if the last one peaks, Hatchy is saved, the Clash is 2, and MVG, the final shot delivered onto you. That's a round for the defenders as they bring it 5-2.
How has Cade got away with that? This guy just does not care that there's a Monty, like, literally 30 centimeters from his
Behind
butt,
them.
bro. And somehow the Monty hasn't found the kill either. Like, what's going on?
That was crazy.
Like, we should see it hopefully in the replay, but this is some naughty shots coming in from the Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just a case of MolotovGang have dished out the exact same strat to minions as what they did to MolotovGang. It's almost an identical hold, and what we need to see if you want to crack this is you need to put pressure from somewhere else. You need to try and sneak somebody up the solar stairs, maybe put somebody on big window, because MolotovGang have just funneled the attack into a Clash, and that's never really going to work out for you if you want to be attacking reliably.
It really won't, right? And, well, it's a shame that right now MG minions are falling after such a gracious victory. They served us on Consulate. Again, unexpected, but more than deserved, as MVG right now are starting to wipe the floor with them. Maybe it was true that Map 1 was just a warm-up, but MG minions, if you're warmed up completely, this is not going to be the best outcome. You either need to play your wits or absolutely brute force it through, because you're doing the same mistakes as MVG. You mentioned Amguns that, I mean, MVG have taken so much time to get a certain breach or to get a certain checkpoint in your bucket list of what you need to do as an attacker, and both attackers, both of these teams on the attack, have taken about a minute or 2 to actually get to the first.
They have indeed, as MolotovGang showing how it's just so good how much time you can waste on the defense. But as we move to kitchen, they've reinforced the kitchen hatch. Like, it's a really different strat coming in from the side of MolotovGang, as they don't seem to want to be actually use the verticality available to them to hold the site. It's more of a time waste kind of strat to protect their defending operators on the site itself. Not nearly as much utility invested in this top floor, Puffer Bob, as we saw from MG Minions.
MolotovGang have started feeling the groove a bit too much, some could say, as right now taking on 2 players, you delivered extremely damaging blows to Dermis and Spin as they're left low on HP. The fact is, you could not finish what you started, and that's where you find yourself in the grave, dug down by none other than the infamous Buck for MG Minions, and it's a very solid start to take out a player this early on.
W crosshair placement, by the way, from the Twitch. The recoil is definitely going to send that up the wall rather than down the drone hole, which is really interesting to see. But MolotovGang have done a great job of getting an opening pick. They've shut down one of the superstars on MolotovGang as Frost out. What is that? Interlude just being shut down in beautiful fashion. The nade's going to have Rain find its man almost as they do pinch out that player as well. And lovely control from the side of MG Minions to start picking apart this defense.
Spin has been such a such a factor for MG Minion's attack right now, as he has been shutting down more than just one player, but all with such low conditions and such a strict way of doing it that he manages to pass by, shining bright as it gets. And in the meanwhile, though, such a shortly lived victory, as Isan did manage to pick off one, but right after it, he gets himself taken out, while the attackers have made their way onto the site itself, the diffuser as well, the Blackbeard being used, which is absolutely cinema. The C4 there, is it perfect on landing? No, because it just barely catches you alive, but comes around, doesn't care. No one there to shut him down, and just even in the process of it, leaves him northy in a 1v2 situation. He may have the diffuser, he may have the headspace as of current, but he's certainly stuck in a corner that he will not be easily getting out of.
Yeah, this 2v1 situation is not looking good. The shield is going to protect him, though, just a little bit, as he looks to stick this diffuser down. There doesn't seem to be much of a reaction from the defense here, Puffo.
No, there really isn't. I mean, they waited, and they know once this ticker has started ticking, that's when they really want to push. But push together. Don't give him 1v1s like you currently are, ANA. Please, work together as a team. Matters not. Just is going to be bringing justice to the side of MG Minions as they lose, what was this, like the fourth round in a row?
Yeah. It's looking tough, to say the least. The momentum is going to be firmly in the favor of MolotovGang. Oh, sorry. They're going to take away from the momentum that MolotovGang have been building for the last few rounds. It's good that they finally put an end. What am I talking about? I'm all over the place today. MolotovGang are going to keep building on their momentum as they do clutch out this 2v1 against the Blackbeard. So lovely stuff from MolotovGang to be claiming match point in this round. So MolotovGang, they're just riding this momentum that they've built over these last few rounds, and this is where they're going to be looking to send us all the way to Labs, which is, I think, compared to the two maps that we've seen so far, a lovely mix between fragging out and the strategy that needs to be used. So MolotovGang, they took that last map personally, Puffer Bob. They're right back here with a vengeance to send us to a map 3.
MG Minions may be cooking, because I currently see a Blitz, a Blackbeard, and Capital, and putting those three into a formula comes out with the equation of it is going to be chaos. It is going to be shields, a Finca to add a bit of pinch of salt and action in the meanwhile just to boost those two shields is going to be making it worse, although MVG's lineup does prove a bit more dangerous, especially Variox's Fenrir, and of course the Mira, or rather the Frost even, to counter out any jump-ins.
Yeah, this lineup is absolute carnage, and I love to see it. You've got so many tools now available at your disposal to basically deal with anything the defense might bring, other than a clash. MolotovGang this time around have not brought the clash. It's a very normal lineup, a very standard lineup being brought here by MolotovGang for this bar hold. The interesting thing is that Capital's going to have no counter in this round. He can basically use his utility wherever he sees fit to clear out some of these key positions and get something going. And it seems like Merry Minions here want to go very much direct and very fast and hit this before MolotovGang have a chance to respond.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
No response just yet. And I can imagine that MG Minions are craving to just go all out or go home as the Blitz has now entered in, but just missed the Mira. Oh, he gets away with it. Hatsy shuts down the IQ, even passing by. They slid next to each other, but MG Minions still return it. They look upon their back, fix upon their mistakes while they still can, and leave Isan, Variox, the final two to stand. The plan going down, those are going to be the flashes. That's it, shut down. Even swings out to the left, a bit of a flick and headshot in the meanwhile. Variox is taking one life after another. The C4 there, the post plant initiated, the Blitz tightly securing, as this vault is going to be semi-impossible. Pre-fires attempted, but the last two are standing low chances, as when they jump out, they will be causing a lot of frustration, and Spen takes it out on one. The final one for the Blitz as he goes into action, and MG Minions get away with it.
What the hell is going on, man? We've got a Mira and a Blitz trading places with each other, apparently. We've got Blitz becoming a defender on the Mira. We now have Dokubi, like, full sprinting when the diffuser's going down. No need, like, somehow in all of the carnage, the attack has managed to remain, like, hold onto the control they need. But this smoke grenade, like, what is this? As somehow on the 180 it's just absolute carnage around. But the carnage MG Minions wanted to create has worked out beautifully for them. Although MolotovGang did find a few trades back in the retake, they didn't have enough gas in the tank to get the retake to happen fully, as the remaining players outside of MG Minions be able to lock down that diffuser. As it's worked out beautifully for them, and I'm hoping that they can keep this up. The aggression has worked so well for them. Why not keep being that aggressive?
Why not being that aggressive? I mean, it worked out once. Maybe it's going to work out again. Although I imagine this time around, MVG are going to be anticipating it for just an extra step, and that may be the extra step they overstep and get this in regulation. MG Minions have closed it from 4 rounds required for overtime under to 3, which does prove some promise, although 3 is no small task, and if they win this one out, I think there's still some chances that they actually come out and manage to secure themselves a 6-6.
Yeah, that'll be crazy stuff. MG Minions to build 3 rounds back to back to back, as that's a tall ask of any team. Doesn't matter how good you are, that's not a situation you ever want to find yourself in. But MG Minions, oh, they're going to get punished early. I was just about to say, their lineup is interesting to say the least. It seems like a very just go for the frags, go for the aggression, but MolotovGang have done exactly that. They've just slammed that aggression in MG Minions' face.
They've thrown it, they've caught it, they've thrown it back. These teams have been going back to back, and in the meanwhile, MolotovGang, although they have found themselves on the very top, Interlude is now in the bottom, needing to be put on the bench. And MolotovGang, they keep it up. Like I'm saying, Nighthaven is going to be underway just any moment.
Well, you never know. As MC Minions, they're more than capable of making that comeback. I'm hoping they dig deep to stay in this game, but Frost is going to have something to say about that as she finds one. But now we've got Zofia getting aggressive. She's going to trade one back though, Puffo, and they're still not out of it just yet.
Not out of the deepest part of the rubble, although MVG, they're definitely proving to be quite a lot of trouble, as they do have found 2. It is returned for MG Minions, but still not in their favor, which is what matters most in a game such as Rainbow Six Siege, and time is starting to tick. You're on the attack, and you need to be a bit faster. Pick up on the velocity if you must, MG Minions, whatever to get you back into the game.
Yeah, and in a man deficit, once again, the kills just not going their way, unfortunately. They've still got a lot of work to do, a lot of utility to clear if they want to get anywhere near this site. As just on their entry, they've been shut out completely. And it's just due to a lack of information. They don't have the confidence they need to be able to fight these players with good information. And that's what's led to them having this disadvantaged situation they found themselves in.
Advantage indeed. And 3-4 right now. Earlier, you managed to absolutely rush it into sight, not a care in the world. This time around, it may be a bit of a different story to tell. Not all eggs in the basket, that may be true. You may have one less than what MVG put up, but that still doesn't give you no fighting chance right now. MG Minions, make sure to play this correctly, and make sure to play it fast, please. Already seconds have passed by. You're down to 45 seconds, and right now, that's not a lot of time to work with. You're trying to have a direct approach towards verticality, and it's way too late for that. Just taking some damage. Shield being destroyed, still 3 on verticality, gonna need to be fought against, and a rotation from MG Minions, as I believe this is gonna be a different approach, maybe. A single window opened, one already approaching, but I mean, most of these attackers are just sitting idly by trying to contest the top floor, which there's too much utility to go through. It is too raw of a surface. Your diffuser is dropped piano side, and one of your attackers creeping, crawling right towards side, trying to sneak his way into it, while there's someone on blue contested. A double peek does manage to actually take you out. With 10 seconds remaining, there's the final effort coming through, and MG Minions are going to be losing it on map 2 as MolotovGang. This is going to be theirs.
To A Labs we go. MolotovGang, they took it personally. They're not going anywhere as they are right back in this series, fighting for that chance to fight for promotion. Lovely work from them as they won in a convincing fashion on Chalet. I'm really hoping that doesn't get into MG Minions' head, as you know, there's still another map completely available. Anything is possible here as we move into this final map. So I'm really hoping that just the momentum that our reigning champions have created for themselves doesn't put a lot of pressure on the other team, and I don't want to see them crumble in that final map, Puffer.
No, we don't. We really don't. We have been waiting for overtime since the beginning. Consulate was proving to actually almost go to that deep, but we didn't see it. So maybe map 3 will be the place to go. But as we want to get to that action as fast as we can, so will we be going to a break. So stay tuned, as it's about to be decided any moment.
We're back.
A very interesting summary of two matches. Well, it ended up in Consulate going in the favor of MG Minions, while second map, which was Chalet, was for MVG to take. Now we head to the third, which is going to be none other than the beloved Nighthaven Labs, and it's still me, Bob. It's still Guns coming in for the decider.
I can't wait for this map. We've had a very defender-sided, a very strat-heavy map. We've had a very frag-heavy map on the side of Chalet. And now we're going to a perfect mix, in my opinion, of both of those things. Labs. A lot of strategy that can be used, a lot of opportunities for frag-heavy plays. It's a beautiful map. The creators of Ubisoft, thank you very much for blessing us with an amazing map that we can watch this decider on to see who makes it into the upper half of the Swiss and who makes it into the lower half of the Swiss. So let's get this game underway for you guys, but Bob, while we've got some time, do you want to give us any of your remarks about Labs? Because it's such a good map.
I love it. I love Labs. I love Labs as a map. Labs is my favorite pastime. When I wake up, I don't think about breakfast. I think about Nighthaven Labs. My beautiful, my precious, our beautiful, our precious, as it's the map we all go to when we need a bit of distress, and it's the map we go to Guns to see the decider between MG Minions and MVG.
It is indeed, and the thing I want to point out here is going to be MolotovGang starting out on the attack. If they can replicate any of the success they've just had in the previous map to kick us off on Labs, I think they're going to be a really strong contender for taking the map, as I think defense, especially for at this level of Siege, it's way easier to play on your defense. If you attacking is just generally the harder side on these maps that are statistically 50-50. But if you can start building momentum, take rounds away from the defense, then all you got to do is have some good defenses of your own and you seal the game out in quick fashion. So I really want MG Minions to capitalize on the fact that they're going to be defending first.
If they can, that would be great. Earlier, they didn't, and well, the result of that definitely wasn't a positive one at that. And as of current, we are going to be seeing nothing sort of interesting. I mean, it's just usual. Teams want to play it safe. It's completely understandable to get rid of the Maverick, the Tubarão as well. I imagine the Tubarão Arcade are going to be one of the two picks, but the Blackbeard going to be joining the tally. Maybe going to be seeing some Blitz and Monty action like we did later into those rounds of Chalet. And as we go to the first defender, Guns, it will be none other than Clash.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised in the slightest, as this operator was the bane of everybody's existence, I think, in the first map. It was just crazy that watching that this Clash have such an effect in these lobbies. But some really interesting bans coming out from the side of MG Minions, by the way. We've got a Mav ban and a Mozzie ban. Cadence to Borrow once again left available. So I'm really hoping that MG Minions capitalize on that as much as they can, as they are bringing the Tubarão. That's a good start. They're bringing the Bandit as well, and the Cade. Lovely stuff to try and keep all of these top floor walls closed. But the Mozzie ban, maybe a bit of a target ban, Puffer Bob, against MolotovGang.
Maybe it's a bit of a target ban. We did see a lot of the Mozzie, and honestly, I think the Clash also kind of goes along the tradition of what we saw in Chalet. It definitely does, right? I mean, Clash is definitely reasonable. It's strong on Nighthaven, but that extra fact that we saw her being played so much on Chalet just pushes it even more into consideration, and maybe even into a guarantee as we just witnessed. Now, going on to round number 1, we get to see the top floor as per usual. Nothing sorts of the interesting. And taking a look at the lineups, I mean, I don't get it, Guns. We have been constantly seeing Bandit be picked here, and I mean, there's been moments where we saw the Bandit instead of the Cade, which is also extremely interesting. Now we're seeing Tubarão, Cade, and Bandit.
I love to see it. Like, the main thing about this top floor hold is if you allow the attack to get control of the breaches, it can really make your life difficult, especially if a team wants to start with IT and then rotate towards this meeting side afterwards. This way, Bandit is responsible for one wall, Cade is responsible for the other. We can trick both places simultaneously, which is great to see. But the only problem that I see for MolotovGang is if they want to counter this, they need to get the buck in below to start tearing the floor up on this Bandit, to start tearing the floor up and to try and find the Cade floor as well. Otherwise, I don't think they're going to be able to get the breaches open here, Puffer Bob.
I don't think it's going to be as easy as we imagine. No, definitely not. We don't have a Thatcher. We only have an Ace. Maybe Verticality at its finest, and if the Flores manages to actually scoop its way into the midst of all these gadgets, which I very heavily doubted, as seeing as how deep into site itself and IT they are, it's going to be difficult, but as of current, people still holding their angles nice, tidy, and of course being gentlemen, and of course doing their job correctly, and not as aggressive as we saw in Chalet.
Yeah, some early utility clear coming out with the Floros, which is great to see. We have got the Ash making her way into a lower lobby. I just want to see if I can find where this Buck is, because he's going to be the star man to actually get things open. He's hanging out outside a kitchen right now. We need to get him in the building and start tearing this floor up. As Thermite's going to be looking at this breach going, I can't do anything here, boys. I need you guys to start making something happen so I can get these open. But the Ace doesn't seem to be in a position to make use of Buck about to tear up this floor underneath the connector position.
To get to point 2, we need to get to point 1, and to get to point B, we need point A, and this is kind of the situation we're looking at. The breach, again, following tradition from Chalet, being obtained so late on. I mean, it is a bit more expected, seeing as the lineups are very heavily decided towards the fact that you want to keep the breach as close as possible, especially with the Cade, the Bandit, and Tuberai all in action. As now talking about action, it appears in the name of Isan, as he brings the opening, an interlude, gonna be the unfortunate first to fall.
We haven't even got the breaches open. It's taking us 2 minutes just to get these open. He's borrowed it, so he's gonna be able to waste 30 seconds, an additional 30 seconds. There's gonna be no time left for the executor, Puffer Bob, as that's a lovely shot onto the Ace, but there's just no time left in the round.
Absolutely criminal how long MG Minions have been getting away with keeping this breach closed, and it's even more criminal with MolotovGang, as they've been getting robbed, but not only robbed of utility, breach, but also players. One after another, they fall into the bag. Justin Aney, the last one to stand their ground and maybe shove MG Minions out of their beloved home, but it's an entry, and it's going to be a faulty one at that, as the last two, they can fight as much as they want, but it's too little angles to work with, and too little position to have. They push into the guns. It's an expected outcome. One push back from a Northie, and in the meanwhile, just the last one to stand, Dermis puts him down and brings him to the ground, as that's going to be the first one, unsurprisingly for MG Minions, as I mean, again, 2 minutes for a breach, handguns, that is criminal.
Like, the idea was good from Molotov.
Yeah.
Go in below, shoot the shit off the wall. Oh, sorry, apart from apologies. Shoot, get this stuff off the wall, allow your teammates to push pressure from the breach, and get things going. But the problem is, it's just taking them 2 minutes to roam clear where nobody was roaming on the mid-round. It's just not good enough, unfortunately. It's a great play from MG Minions to use a lot of wall denial, keep these things closed, make it as difficult as possible for the attack to get things open. But it's great to see. It's great to see that MG Minions are heavily banking on this wall denial strategy, as it's worked out so well for them. These are things that you can take into your scrims, into your games yourselves. If these operators are available, just use and abuse them, because they're so strong right now. And it's just worked to perfection for the side of MG Minions.
It really has, right? And I mean, honest to God, good for them. Credit where it's due, MG Minions again. A solid start. They're looking to repeat what they did on map number 1 with a very good defense. There was the attack, which is going to be definitely turning on its head once the roles are swapped. So right now, MVG, although you're definitely not in the current position to win all of these rounds, nor the majority of them, maybe 2, 3 at max if you're lucky, MG Minions still, they hold a strong position, and an operator that we saw earlier banned will not be used, and it's going to be that Scopos.
And this is once again, we saw a Scopos ban earlier in the series. It's due to how aggressive you can be, as he's just ratting out here in meeting. This should be a little bit of a freebie if MolotovGang can identify that he's hiding out here as the initial engagement comes in. They haven't found him, Puffo.
They haven't found him just yet. As he's trying to really rat him out in Scopos, there's going to be the rotation all the way back down to site. Wasted a couple of seconds, which is the initial thing you want to do as a roamer. Currently just scouting everything out, trying to find the right moment, but I don't think we're going to be striking to find that gamble.
Yeah, the interesting thing is we still get full information on meeting area, because that Scopos shell hidden in the corner that needs to be dealt with. As I really like this from MolotovGang. It's a full roam clear top floor down to have full power on the vertical, but a lovely shot by Interlude once again, as he takes one of those roam clear operators off the board. And this is where suddenly playing this mid-floor becomes so much easier, as MolotovGang don't have a lot of roam clear ability left to flush these players out of the mid-floor.
No, they don't. Clearing out main cameras is definitely something useful, but MVG, we need to make a move as we're still stuck on top floor. A minute and a half are already passed, and MG Minions are playing us like a fiddle. Come on, make a bit of a step here. We still have players on stairs holding your position, taking out your drones, and in the meanwhile having an all-around bout, as this is about to go either way for any of these teams, which I mean, again, it is going to be interesting to see how it all turns out.
And again, it's that mid-floor, there's just not a lot of information available. There's only 3 drones left now for MolotovGang. They know one's hiding away in this storage position, but Legion can just waste so much time here, Puffo.
So much time indeed. The vault, I don't think it's to be expected. People don't want to take that risk. But thankfully, ESA always there to make sure it's all clear, done, and dusted. MG minions are being swept off the floor. A nice one broom left to right. And all of a sudden, it's the advantage for MVG. They've dropped it heavily. MG minions had so much in their grasp, but they've lost it.
It's so good to work with no info to still pinch these players out beautifully. They don't need the drones. They're still working as a team, clearing out these roamers, and now they're set up so nicely for an execute here, Puffo.
So nicely indeed. They're ready to juice every single one trying to drop hash. It's going to be a deadly factor here. Maybe even a fair one. But what matters, MG Minions, is that at least you find the equalization to have a 1v1 situation or a 2v2 situation. So while one is forced to plant, the other ones can just absolutely go to town with their guns. And time is not a thing. That is a virtue we can savor. There's some damage. Legion Gu to deny the plant. And in the meanwhile, the MPX comes out for one. The second interlude coming out on Northy for the help. And last one just. How much can you really handle while people peek, people swing, and MG Minions win round number 2 in a row.
Even though Minions had that man disadvantage as the execute came in, they held a lovely crossfire into Animus to completely shut out MolotovGang. And this is... players to give them two very good defenses on the two strongest sites. Now MolotovGang, they've got their best opportunity on this tertiary bomb site to get around on the board, Puffo.
It's the best opportunity and you might as well take it. Go middle ground, MVG, you again need to take verticality. IT is definitely going to be something contested by MG Minions, and one of the operators that are definitely going to be putting some shivers in your timbers will be none other than the Northeast Pulse, which has a very deadly little add to it, especially with the C-Force coming from below, an extra for the Bandit and Valkyrie to have an explosive roundabout, although MG Minions, it's all going to depend on how quickly, or rather how long you can extend into this top ground. As earlier, I mean, it's proved many times that MVG have a really, really tough time going into this top floor quickly.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, and as the reason for holding this top floor is it plays very similar to how Kitchen plays on Chalet. There's so many vertical angles you can hold down onto the site itself. The best part about this is I love that MG Minions also have a pulse down below. They've got almost a triple layered presence to hold on to this site. Oh, I say that. He's not playing out down in the basement. He's just playing the site itself. If he so chooses, he can go below, play that C4 from below as well. So verticality is the name of the game, and it's great to see that MG Minions are using that verticality as interlude once again, Puffo. It's going to kick things off for us.
The thorn in the side of MolotovGang is interlude. He gets away with 2. How do they manage to do it? Well, it matters not because the shotgun has a bit of a pump on the kill feed. An extra third, as of course, as it clearly wasn't enough. We need demolition along the ESA experts, and that's going to be Variox, who always manages to find one, be it on Chalet, be it on Nighthaven. Both are going to be his to claim, but in the matter, you traded 1 for 3, and it's just not looking healthy.
We haven't even opened anything. If we're the side of MolotovGang, like the connector wall's still closed, we don't need to kind of funnel into shotguns before, like we're just missing points of the checklist. I'm sure they had a really good plan in mind with the lineup that we can see. We've got the Jackal for that roam game clear on the top floor. We've got double hard breach to be able to open these things up. The MolotovGang, the strategy is good, but the execution is just not living up to where it needs to be. And MG Minions are making full use of that to give them a very convincing, what looks to be their very convincing third round of the game.
Those shots could have been fatal, but in the end, we have a healthy one from Ane. He does deliver, has the chances of MolotovGang rising going into round number 3. Maybe this will be the first to claim. It definitely would be about so time. It is one of those sites before we head to the full side 3 rotation. And Ane there with a second, going to be claiming got out on what he started after some extra damage, compiled up to top floor yet again. And the second shot, 2v2 situation, we've seen it earlier. Maybe we're going to see it again, but MG Minions, they always catch us off guard when it's the least expected, and we still have that major information. 2 C4s in the meanwhile, shotgun there for a bit of a warning shot, letting you know that he's really watching out for you. But where's this Bandit? Well, let me tell you, Spen is out on a hunt, a headhunt to be exact. Variox gonna be 1 for the count, an extra 1 defender. And while in the meanwhile, Ane, he can only do so much as he's playing against a pulse from below. A Bandit still completely bewildered. And going onto the desk may be your best bet, as the C4 does not land. And the Pulse is probably looking to make a quick rotation. Ping's going to be there, not stuck through. The Ace does hold his angles quite nicely, and Spen almost had his head taken off with a shotgun from behind. He doesn't expect it, and MG Minions still supreme.
It's one of those things where MG Minions are making it interesting. They had such an early advantage, but they just keep peeking. Like, you just don't need to peek. But they're still going to get the round in their favor, which is great to see. It's just one of those things where you don't really need to make it so close. They did a great job of finding those opening picks, punishing MolotovGang for trying to funnel into that top floor hold, which is great work from them. But you're just giving MolotovGang some hope, and maybe it's part of the strategy, you know? Give them some hope and then snatch it away from them to really try and break the mental of MolotovGang. But now that MolotovGang, you know, they've seen all three defenses, they should now hopefully be able to make some adaptations, namely the big one being how do we want to deal with the wall denial on this top floor, Puffo?
Earlier wasn't the greatest, right? And you can't do much about it. At some point, you can clear out all the bandits, all the Cades, but it's still going to be denied for a great deal to Barao if he times it well as well. And MG Minions, again, they've been holding it nicely. They've been playing their verticals. They've been keeping MolotovGang out of their business. And business is booming for them. 0-3 is already a solid one. 3 for 3 is strong. But what matters most is that it can only go up from here, right? It can still be a 6-0. These possibilities that they have are infinite. And MVG need to put a stop to them somewhere.
And this is the great thing about bringing double hard breach. You can hide these Cade Claws in odd spots. You can make it extremely difficult for the attack to clear these bits of utility out with the approach that you see MolotovGang going for. You just can't shoot this from below. You have to get a nade in there or something. You've got to use IQ to try and get these things off the wall, and it just makes things extremely difficult for you. And this luxury is only possible because you have that double hard breach. Bandit can go and trick this wall if he so chooses as well. But for MolotovGang, I'm really hoping they dedicate more resource to taking the meeting side. You can nade the things off of the meeting wall and the connector wall, which can get you into the site a lot easier, opposed to trying to get this IT breach open, Puffer.
It's going to be quite breezy. And right now, talking about them, the wind's starting to cool down, but the players are only feeling this cold-blooded tension coming in, as right now they're looking to seek out the first. And well, this is that anticipation we were looking to catch up on. As one falls, the other one does. A trade-out between as if it were a 4-4 to begin with. And Span, the bandit, losing out on the gunfight, definitely going to be unanticipated. And in the meanwhile, also very unfortunate for MG Minions to lose out on those batteries.
Well, I think the damage is done because the bandit's already down, and lovely Nitro coming out from Interlude once again. Again, his bandit batteries are going to be up, the ones that are down, for the rest of the round, and the buck we needed. But Verox is going to find a lovely shot, Puffo, and somehow end up in a 3v3.
Lovely shot in the shape of Hard. The bullets come through, and he absolutely riddled the body of one of these players as an extra falls to Northy. Going to be one to be taken out of the consideration, but now Rafters are going to be the only point of entrance for MolotovGang as they look to maybe extend off to blue side, get information, as this is just not a place of entry that is comfortable to go from alone.
This drone is so huge. They've spotted out everybody. Now it's just a case of which fight do we want to take first. As Valkyrie's trying to sneak her way into IT, but she's going to be spotted. They should know she's here. So this could be a great opening pick for MolotovGang on the execute.
The crossfires for MG Minions still looking strong, solid, and you could call them anything, but the Valkyrie, I don't think they're solid on from information on her. Gonna have to see how it all turns out. There's pings onto 2. The last one unknown. Location not gonna be definitely clear it out or guaranteed, but some entries needed to be made, and at some point there's gonna be a welcome party here as the Valkyrie sneaking around does almost get spotted, and it's unfortunate timing, siege timing if you will. Right now, one on the left does almost get the flag. No, rather not. Almost. Interlude commits to it. Fully claims the heads, and right now gonna have for a second he feels greedy, and greed carries him to victory. Hatsi, the last one to claim, and Shea there on the job. How do MG Minions, with all information, still win out? MolotovGang, M-Guns, it's just incomprehensible.
Well, Interlude is insane. Like, they knew about him. They definitely knew. You can see the Ace being very, very cautious around this player's position, but the Thermite, you have to trade him. But Interlude's just better as he hits a crazy couple of shots to seal out the execute as MG Minions take a 4th round. And right now, as I said earlier, we wanted to see MG Minions make use of their defense And they're doing exactly that. As lovely work from Interlude with the MPX, the pea shooter of all things, to hit a lovely couple of headshots, to shut down the hard supports of MolotovGang. But MolotovGang, again, they don't seem to be very comfortable in how they can deal with this wall denial. They didn't get IT Broach open at all. They still went for the warehouse take without that control. And I was about to say, they made a really cool adaptation to hit the blue side, because they knew one was in IT. You know that's probably a position you can't clear now because the breach is not open, but for some reason they stuck to the warehouse push. So I would have liked to see them stick with that plan of adaptation, but it's unfortunate that they didn't go through with it, and Minions are going to be punishing them in that round.
Segueing to round 5, we definitely can't ignore the fact that Interlude is just mechanically gifted as a player and a whole, and in the end, MolotovGang, they pay the price that MG Minions set up, and well, still holding a firm position and grip over the current count that we have, 4-0. Those are numbers, huge numbers you could call them, and MVG right now, their best answer is going to be the Blitz to be pulled out. Definitely worked out earlier for the side of MG Minions on their attack. Well, let's see what MVG can cook up.
We got a Blitz on the board. Love to see it. Very different approach from MolotovGang this time around. A lot more take the fights, get involved, get aggressive. As hopefully we should be able to roam clear all of these operators with the Blitz. Send the Blitz in first. Trade them out or get some kills off the back of the Blitz to clear out this mid-floor roam. As Minions, I've got to give it to them. Their strategy into these maps has been phenomenal. I talked about it earlier. This is a map where strategy has a huge impact on how the map is played. And MG Minions are leaning heavily into that and being rewarded for it, which is great to see.
Traversing this top floor, rotating down to middle ground, and Isan being the first one to ironically take damage. The metal shield not going to be able to protect for 4 HP. As composition-wise, MG Minions have set themselves up for victory, and just as we speak of them, damage exchange between many, and Shea taking a risk there rotating, although just gets away by the skin bare of his teeth, and eyes on the prize. That's one player almost down, almost won't quite be enough, and Legion goes the thorn in the side of this Blitz, as although MG Minions still holding a power position, and all the C4, that was amazing timing coming out from Anorthi as he claims the Blitz, and oh, we talk about the Doc not having much use at times. At times he rarely does, and that was just one of those rare occasions.
This is lovely stuff. As the roam game is going to keep making its mark, as Legion's going to fall as well. But the C4, to use the Legion, use the roam game as a bait to get an opening pick is so good. We love to see this little bit of strategy that this team working so well with each other. As they're all going to get the verticality going, there's still a player on this mid-floor, Puffo.
There still is, and it's rapidly ascending. How many players are going to need to stack up on him to take him out? The footsteps are right in front of you, and you follow them the right way to get yourself a kill. And for Iox, in the meanwhile, he gets one, he gets the second, and exchanges what has been lost in the present and in the past, as now a choke point is being set on MG Minions. They start feeling the pressure, but only 3 more on the enemy, while you yourself are all nice, patched up, and your Doc being a very strong opposition to what was hoped the attack could have. There we go. Again, just healing himself up quite nicely. Not a lot of HP, but matters not HP-wise, as that's a nasty headshot. And Sheo, oh, he does not stop there. He leaves Hatchie down in a situation that is purely heartbreaking for MolotovGang, as they're about to be facing Nilta 5 if a triple kill isn't committed in 10 seconds. And of course, with that in a perfect circumstance, its chance is low. He drops down to Hatch, but in the end, it's just no time remaining. And MG Minions, 5-0. Looking beautiful, and to finish it off as fastly as they can.
MG Minions are looking for that flawless rotation on this first half, as they're looking for that 6-0 lead. And this is where, for MolotovGang, I think the damage is done. A 4-2 defense is not insurmountable, but now that we're up to 5 rounds for MG Minions, a 5-1 split is never what you're looking for. As Doc hitting some lovely shots, making use of that ACOG. What is that pre-fire? A lovely work from him, as now the mechanics of MG Minions really showing up, and just complemented by their really nice use of the strategy and things available to them on this map. And I think this is where MG Minions clearly head and shoulders, unfortunately, above MolotovGang in terms of their gun skill and the strategy used. MolotovGang just don't seem to have the right tools at hand to deal with the strategies that MG Minions are bringing.
The strategy, the presence alone, and the gunfights being outstanding, as MG Minions have proved for 5 rounds in a row. They seem to be was absolutely outstanding today. MVG not having a single round of proof. This might as well be the bare minimum you can catch. It is the bare minimum you can actually claim in the first half. The 0 is absolutely nothing, and 1 round the least is a terrible cause to be stuck in, as over-aggressing at times definitely hasn't proven right, but you at least should try new strategies. And MolotovGang, right now you're in a pinch that you can't get out of for some reason.
The adaptation we need to see from MolotovGang in this round is going to be just to get things open. Last time we funneled into the defense, we didn't really manage to get a lot of things open. So as you can see, this is just use good or reliable. That's your thermite, but the problem is Bandit is here. He is ready, but he's not going to be there in time to trick this. As lovely work, we get an opening pick as well, and this is already a much better start compared to the previous attacks for the side of MolotovGang. If they can open up, we'll get some pressure from that connector side as well. This will be looking really, really good for them to pinch into that top floor.
It was always a double-edged sword when you managed to find some value from MolotovGang. Either they got a kill and then it was returned. This time around, no. They're going to be getting a breach and a kill alongside it just to put some extra salt on the wound, as MG minions are now caught a bit lacking as they're forced to fend off against so many forces just pushing into them. One of those entering into rafters very soonly, although no contention yet, no confirmation of heads being taken off besides a Northie who didn't have much of a fighting chance. And approaching is going to be Variox, who has found himself many more double kills in the process, looking for a possible third, and he finds 2! That is going to be huge, as MVG have right now completely turned the fates, and MG minions now starting to have a bit of a taste of their own medicine, and the attackers finally thriving off of their own. But I think it's a bit too late, as round 6, I mean, even if they get a 5-1, it's going to be rough.
At least they're on the board, right? At least they get one. They make it so they've got a little bit of a buffer. They've got 1 round to drop if they do get this 5-1 split. But this round's not over yet. Legion's found 1, and they're getting re-aggressive on the top floor. They have info on these players. Those Valcams coming in huge. As Valkyrie might find another freebie here, Puffo.
Oh no. Interlude, he's already onto it. He gets 2! The similar way he did earlier! Into the B, well, that's all the... I believe that's the diffuser alongside with it. Oh, people are shooting back at him. He's going to be dropping hatch, taking the safe route. He's already claimed more than enough, and he's satisfied with it. But looking to have a second loop around it. Maybe a path to a different victory than he had sought out. Hatchy low on HP. Nades are going to be there. Swing comes out. And Ernest, he gets away with it! Now 2-1 situation, just waiting for the Valkyrie to get back down on site. And with 30 seconds remaining, Variox, you may have picked up the case, but the case is about to be on you, as they're all hunting down for you. Less than half a minute, you're fighting a battle that should not have been even possible as an outcome. When it came down to what man count you were sticking with earlier, you do not get the headshot. The Legion may be low. He's running you around. It's so ending the gunfight. Durin sticks out on his own, and even then it would have been difficult to win that 1v1 against the one and only Interlude. But a 6-0 am guns. This...
You spoke too soon, Puffo. You spoke so too soon.
I'm sorry.
You've casted it. You've done it. It's very unfortunate. As hopefully MolotovGang take your apology. But they haven't dealt with the Valcams. Like, they just haven't droned these Valcams out. And that's what's allowed Interlude to make this top floor re-aggression possible. Because his teammates, all of the bad guys, are on cameras, they're feeding him this info. He's basically got wall hacks on every single player on this top floor. He's found a couple of freebies because the fights are isolated. You can see here the bulletproof cams, the Valkyries, going huge for the remaining defenders. I mean, you've got 3 dead people that can hold those cams. There's so much information available to you. For MolotovGang, you have to drone out this utility. You have to deal with it, and unfortunately, because they didn't, that's been their downfall. Throughout the whole game, pretty much, they just haven't been able to deal with the utility usage of MG minions. But now that they're on the defense themselves, it's their time to try and cook something up with the utility that they've brought in their lineup.
Chalet was a merciful gift to MolotovGang from MG Minions, as they let him have it, you know, a 1 map, just so we can get back into Nighthaven and show our true intentions here, that we are not merciful, we are absolute beasts to take it on. A 6-0. The fact that Interlude has returned what Variox has offered, and maybe even doubled that at times, has been absolutely phenomenal to see, and the entry at times was difficult. But the fact that your path from certain victory has went downhill into a loss, especially after we saw that, what was it, a 4v2 situation, then turned on its head by Interlude, and then we just keep on dissolving as the mental even seemed to be broken. MG Minions coming out as the Fuse is also going to be picked, a very interesting addition, and I'm loving to see how it's actually going to work out.
This strat, it's not going to work out, basically. If there is a bandit on the wall, as long as that Tabaro has been thrown in time, it should allow the bandit batteries to come online completely and completely deny all of this utility that's been placed on the breach. That is the power of the Tabaro. That's what that operator gives you. As bandits actually rotated himself to just put the bandits on the inside wall this time around. This is a really nice idea. You can give them connector because you realize you completely shut out the presence. The only problem is though, because we have just a bandit, you are leaving at least one of these walls available to be worked, so that combination of the thermite and fuse is going to let the IT breach get opened up.
Hopefully you can assert more than just that, minions. You know a one-sided push on this side is practically impossible. There's always 2 points of entry you need as a minimum. And well, that was more than proved by MolotovGang, as going rafters alone won't work. But this time you have connector, so where else will we extend to? Well, there's the possibility of blue, rafters, IT. Some of those less likely to be claimed than the others, and in the meanwhile, Breach is going to be coming about just any second, as Just has also exchanged himself to a different position. Impact's coming out, and even trying to deny any breach.
This is lovely work. This is exactly what I wanted to see. MG minions, they're using the fuse and the nades, as that Tabaro is actually not going to extend to the whole wall that it needs to, and they're going to get everything open. MG minions have dealt with the wall denial beautifully to set up this execute.
The execute coming in any second, and we only have 1 more minute remaining. And anyone who's going to be opening it up, there's going to be no backfire on it. The C4 traded out from Just, and the defense are not going to be letting go of it. But there's just someone walking into sight. Interlude, this is what I'm talking about. He gets away with it every single time, and the diffuser going down. He gets down as well. In the meanwhile, the process going all south. Put it down onto the other. It's all exchanging. It's all going wrong here in MolotovGang. 2 players, 3 for MG minions, 3 unconfirmed, as 1 may be down and finished as we speak of it. But exchange for the down, a finishing shot, and a flawless performance for MG minions. It's a 2-0 or a 2-1 in the final moment, with a 7-0 map being the last, is absolutely fantastic.
MolotovGang have got some homework to do, as MG minions, their strategy is flawless. It's so good to see that on here on console, the strategy still has a place. Your gun skill can only take you so far, and it's great to see that these teams are employing some amazing strategies, that they're thinking about the problems the defense are going to bring, because you saw with the same operators that we're using the nades a lot more effectively to get things open, and that's why MG minions completely deserving of the 7-0, because they have just taken their use of strategy way above and beyond what our reigning champions could come up with, and that's why they've been rewarded with such a good map to finish the series off for today.
Absolutely, and honestly, MG minions, this was unexpected. I'll give it complete credibility that I thought that MVG were going to have a lot easier of a time. Yet again, it's due to track record in the past, but minions have it has been fantastic. I mean, their potential, everything they brought out today was absolute strength. And bad day for MVG or not, they could not handle it. The pressure, the heat, everything coming onto them, they absolutely collapsed. They fumbled. And in the end, we had a 2-1. It went to map 3, but it just didn't go, map 3 didn't go as long as we would expect it to.
And shout out to Oho, by the way, the only guy in our production staff to get his predictions spot on. Nobody was a believer, okay? Other than Oho, he was the only guy, as you see down below here, the only guy to back minions in this game, getting his predictions spot on once again. Lovely stuff from him, as everybody got it wrong. That's great, including you, by the way. I see you on there as well. I was a believer as well. I said it at the start. It's great to see minions taking it to the champs, which is lovely to see. And as I said, Chalet was a bit of a frag fest. It really suited the playstyle of our reigning champions. But unfortunately, when we got a map that required a little bit more strategy, our minions team completely... What's the word I'm looking for? They did their homework. They were much more with it, with the strategy they wanted to use. And that's where I think if this side of our reigning champions want to make the comeback from the lower part of the Swiss, they need to start doing some homework. Get in some of those dry runs.
And, well... I think we have a match tomorrow as well, Amguns. Now, I believe I'm going to be casting it. I'm not sure for the second. Are you doing it tomorrow as well, Amguns?
I'll have to check, but before we do that, let's take a look at the bracket so we can see what the game is going to be. As that is the game tomorrow, we've got Zach versus... I'm going to butcher this and I apologize in advance. It's going to be Saturity. I can't say. Saturity. I got there eventually. as that's going to be our game tomorrow. I believe, as you said, you'll be casting it. I can check who the casters are, but while I'm doing that, let's see the updated bracket so we can see how this has played out from the games at the moment.
Well, we get to see it. That moving up bracket will be MG Minions going against Nexus, who won against MG Aspire yesterday, and that was the match that I was the only one to vote for. So I'm going to give some credit to myself, but in the meanwhile, MVG facing MG Aspire. Now, this is a matchup we've seen before, a legendary one as well, and well, maybe tomorrow is just going to be that much more exciting. So everyone listening, everyone watching, make sure to tune in tomorrow, as it's about to be absolutely heat. And well, I mean, I think that's going to be it today for today, Amguns.
It is indeed, and just to give everyone a heads up, so for that game tomorrow, it's going to be yourself and Travi will be joining you, Puffer Pop, for the game tomorrow. So we hope to see everyone. Hopefully Puffer Bob, you see everybody here back tomorrow. We appreciate all the viewers. Shout out to our lovely observer of Unnamed Gamer and Nanos for the production, and shout out to all of you as well for spending the evening with us, for enjoying all the siege. And that's going to be it for us today. So hopefully we'll see you guys all back here tomorrow for some even more entertaining games here on ESA.